Hey, all you freaks and geeks out there in podcast land. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Greenbelt Botanicals. I'll give you more information about them later on in the episode. And now, on to the show. It's Wednesday, February the 10th, and you know what that means. Welcome, Freaks and Geeks, to another smoke-filled and jam-packed episode of the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. The podcast where I meet with some of the most creative and influential people that I know to share stories of the ride of life. As always, I'm your host, the 512 Foot Doctor, coming at you live and direct from the studio of Life or Death. If you're a returning freak or geek, thank you very much for checking back in to our regularly scheduled appointment. It really means a lot when you continue to listen, continue to support, and continue to tell a freak or a geek about the podcast. Which leads me to my next introduction. If you're here for the first time, well, welcome. Welcome to the Freaks and Geeks family, and I gotta let you know, first and foremost, before you continue on this journey, you need to buckle up for this ride, because you don't know what you're gonna expect. Let's go! All right, Freaks and Geeks, I want to talk about a few things, cover a few bases, a few points before I introduce my guest for this episode number 22 of the podcast. We're churning and burning, Freaks and Geeks. Remember, we're into volume 3 of the podcast. If you hadn't caught up with volume 2, make sure you go check that out. And if you have not caught up, if you have not taken a listen and tuned in to volume 1 of the Doctor's Orders podcast, make sure you go and check that out. That's where we get, that's the root of the influence. And that's the root of the progress of the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. That's the heart right there, those 10 guests, all right? Make sure to check them out. Check them all out, all right? Just make sure you catch up and make sure you're enjoying it and make sure you're tuning in, all right? Every Wednesday at 6 a.m. Now, I want to talk about a few things that we can look forward to in the month of February, March, and April. We're going to set up the Doctor's Orders podcast book club. That's right. You heard it here live. You heard it here official on this episode. The Doctor's Orders podcast book club is going to feature, I'm not going to tell you the name of the text just yet, Freaks and Geeks. I will tell you the author that we will be highlighting in this first book. It's going to be the one and only, the famous Anthony Bourdain, all right, a tremendous soul. I've shared a lot of insight with other people regarding this individual's outlook on life and approach on life. So now we're going to sit down with some of those people, some past guests. We're really going to draw back on some classic OG guests, get them all possibly in a Zoom, maybe even, hell, I don't know, get them all in the studio of Life or Death, all right, as much as I can ring that around. But we're going to cover this text. We're going to cover it in depth, chapter by chapter, give a nice little discussion, just blend our thoughts and see what we all took away from this Anthony Bourdain text. So be looking out for that, Freaks and Geeks. The next thing I want to talk about, college baseball season is going to be starting up soon. If you know anything about the 512 Foot Doctor, please know that I do greatly appreciate the diamond. I do greatly appreciate the college baseball realm, and I do also appreciate the timeless legends and the timeless just history that is locked in to the Major League Baseball circuit as well. All right, so college baseball is going to be a very exciting time. We're going to be starting up in February. I cannot wait. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to make it out there to Dallas and check out a solid tournament between the University of Texas Longhorns and the Arkansas Razorbacks. All right, so we're going to check that out. That's number 8 versus number 9. It's going to be a dope set. There's going to, oh my goodness, solid endings. I cannot wait. That's going to be out there in Globe Life Park out in Arlington, Texas. If you're going to make it out there, Freaks and Geeks, let me know. Hit me up in the Instagram, all right? The 512 Foot Doctor. Send me a little shout out. Send me a note if you're going to be out there. We're wrangling up a couple of other guests. You know, the real DJ Spud. He's going to try and make it out there, and one of our other sneaker buddies, Process. We're going to try and meet up with him as well. So we're really going to try and check out this college baseball scene. It was taken away from me last year. It was the whole season just canceled. I had nothing. I was going to open up the spring break and just watch solid innings of University of Texas college baseball, and then kaput, taken away, gone without a trace. Never had an ability to appreciate it that season. So we're really going to hit it heavy. We're going to take a trip. Also, remember, check this out. In March, spring break, we are going to be doing a tour for the Doctor's Orders podcast. We're going to hit up Royce City, hit up the Real DJ Spud, and we're going to try and duck off into Houston and hit up our old boy Douglas Hasman and do a podcast in his neck of the woods. So, Freaks and Geeks, if you would allow me to introduce our guest of today, episode number 22 of the podcast. She's a leather craftsman who, alongside her husband, runs an independent leather company based out of Lockhart, Texas, by the name of Good Omen Goods. She's a parent, she's a dog mom, she's also a vegetarian, and she just recently completed her 200-hour yoga teaching certification. So, Freaks and Geeks, without further ado, please welcome, put your hands together for Leah Rose. How's it going? What's going on? How are you doing today?
Doing good. Hi, Freaks and Geeks.
Excellent.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. It's tremendous. I will state, I think I told you a little bit before we hit the old play button on the podcast here, that you are the fourth female guest on the podcast, but you're the third female guest to have an entire episode to pinpointed and focused on as you as the guest. So
no pressure.
Thank you so much on that. And I love having the female guests on the podcast. It gives just a different outlook. We have a bunch of guys, a bunch of gentlemen coming through, and then I just love having the opportunity to sit down with some tremendous ladies that are just coming up from they've all been from Texas, but just what they're going through. I think we had one was a Hoya enthusiast in the plant realm. Another was a local DJ. Another one runs a craft pop-up market in the Austin area. Cool. And now we have you. So excellent. Thank you so much for being here again. Now let's get to what we got going on today.
All right.
Our regular structure. So this is the Heinz 57 Live Catch-Up. So if you would you please introduce yourself by telling us what your name is, where you're from, and what do you do?
My name is Leah Rose Argersinger. I am originally from Austin, Texas.
Tremendous. Grew
up here, finished high school in Dallas. I've moved around quite a bit, but always bounced back to Austin. Year here, year somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Moved around a bunch, but now we're here to stay.
Excellent. You said you did lived in Tennessee. Did you live there?
Actually, first big move was to Costa Rica.
Okay.
It was a test. I asked my husband if he would move with me, and I didn't expect a yes. And when he said yes, I thought he was definitely a keeper. But
yeah, tremendous. Now, had you been there before?
We had never been there before.
Okay, so you just moved on out there?
We were feeling wild then, yeah.
Now, did you have to visit before you made a purchase, or did you go there and make a purchase for like a living quarters?
We actually set ourselves up as caretakers for houses.
Okay.
We took care of a few houses here in Austin and had some good references. Put an ad out there. Nice. A woman found us, and she had to travel back to the U.S., so we got to go live in Costa Rica. I mean, pretty much for free.
Man, how long? So how long were y'all out there for?
We were there for a little over a year.
Okay,
we sold our cars, and we just spent our time drinking rum and surfing and.
Oh man, that sounds excellent.
Pure
I love
vida.
that. That's awesome. So you've been to a lot of places, lived in different climates. What would you say is your favorite? Is that your favorite climate? The whole the kind of beachy vibe, or what?
Yeah, definitely not winter people.
Okay.
We've tried our hand at being winter people.
Uh-huh.
We most recently moved back from Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay.
We were there for 5 years. We bought a house. Thought we wanted to be chicken farmers.
Yeah.
Did the mountain thing for a little while, but taking care of animals in the cold was a totally different experience than, it's tough.
Down here?
Yeah.
Because, we don't have to deal with this, major cold climates and that level. So I can
I'll take
imagine.
110 any day over.
Even if you talk
like
the Wyoming area, that's, different area, but very, heavy on the winters there,
Ooh,
and,
yeah.
and the cattle that they raise and stuff like that, the farms and everything like that. So that's I like that. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
What were you getting into earlier today?
Well, because the weather was nice, we were hanging out in the backyard. Our leather shop is in the backyard,
Okay.
so was cleaning that out. Completed some orders.
Is it like an old garage or something like that?
It's a shed, a 10 by 10 shed. It's way too small for what we're doing in there right now, with all the different machines and tools, and especially if we're both in there at the same time, it's kind of ridiculous. But we always try to remind ourselves that we like things simple, so we try to keep our shop nice and clean. So we cleaned it out today because it was nice, and prepping our garden beds, things like that.
Okay, we got the garden. So are you just cleaning it out right now?
Cleaning out right now.
When are you going to plant?
Definitely going to do some herbs. I've never actually grown flowers before.
Okay.
I've always done like some food. I like to do pickles, things like that. But I think this time we have like 3 big planter beds in our front yard, and I think we're going to try to grow flowers this year.
Cool. When do you think you're going to do that?
Fairly soon.
Yeah. I need to do it
fairly
too.
soon. I'm no expert, so
Yeah, I need to look into that. I want to. There's a couple of things I need to plant around the house. I got some herbs as well, some rosemary, and I do have a lot of like vegetables, be it peppers and stuff like that. But I want to get some pines for the backyard too. I want to get like 2 of them. So we'll see. I just don't know when is the best time. It's coming up soon because
I know it's coming up soon.
Yeah, it's maybe the last week of February, first week of March.
That sounds right.
I hope so.
Just as soon as it's done being cold.
Yeah. I hear it wants to snow this Friday or something like that.
I think it's 75 today, and I think it's supposed to be like 47
teens?
next week.
Yeah, I even saw like some like 17s or something like that, and then some lows or something like that. So we'll see what's up with that.
Get out of Texas.
Yeah. Okay, so walk us through the typical day for you, the day in the life for you, from start to finish, the wake up to the shutdown. What's going on there?
Okay. Well, we are up right at the crack of 6 usually because I have a 18-month-old.
Okay.
He wakes us up. I'm still breastfeeding him, so I usually spend about 25 minutes hanging with him.
Okay.
I put the coffee pot on, and I put him in his room, and he usually watches Curious George for about 30 minutes. And
all right.
His Curious George time is my time. So while the coffee's brewing, that's when I take my time to, like figure out what I'm doing today.
Okay.
If I'm going to meditate, I'll meditate for a few minutes then.
All right. Do you do that eyes open or eyes closed? Do you have a preference on that?
I'd say eyes closed.
Okay.
I'm a super distracted person.
Yeah.
So
I've started dabbling into that, and I was trying to make the decision, and the guider would say like, "Oh, you can do whatever you like. I practice eyes open, but just be aware on the eyes closed. You could fall asleep, and that's all. It's all you at that point,
There's so many forms of meditation.
Yeah.
Like just sitting with your fingers crossed is not meditation.
Yeah.
Not the only meditation. I mean, I think taking walks, even while you're washing dishes, can be meditation as long as you're playing the observer for a second.
Yeah, clearing clearing the glass, emptying the cup, and focusing on the breath. I think those are the big highlights in what I've studied upon. But I think they are consistent throughout it. But okay, continue. You're on the yoga, or I mean, not the yoga, the meditation.
I don't know how exciting my day is really, but well, coffee's brewing and he's spending a second watching Curious George is usually when I kind of try to get myself together.
Okay.
Get myself prepped for the day. Then we have our first breakfast.
First breakfast?
First breakfast.
So he gets how many?
Because there's a second breakfast.
Okay.
He's 2.
Yeah.
He eats constantly.
Yeah.
He's a machine.
Okay.
We do first breakfast. Usually him and I'll share some oatmeal. And then my husband will join us, and we do this thing called time blocks. So if we both have the day off from our, our jobs, then we do this thing called time blocks where I get 3 hours while he watches Sonny, or vice versa, and we decide who's going first. It's the only way to get things done with a toddler.
Yeah.
And you have to have something like that.
That's a great plan. That's a good,
got to,
good
and
layout.
there's or it's chaos. So in my 3 hours, usually I'll go out to the shop. I keep my list of things to do on Post-it notes up on the wall. So each task is a Post-it note. So when it's done, crumple it up, throw it in the wastebasket.
You got a different color for a different task? Or no?
I mean, I have a bunch of different colored Post-its. So yes.
But that doesn't categorize the colors?
No, I'm not that organized.
All right,
no.
all right.
I wish I was. Pretend to be. I have lots of Sharpies.
Yeah.
Lots of Sharpies and thumbtacks and things.
You like the Click Sharpie?
I do like the Click Sharpie.
In comparison to the cap removal one?
I like all the Sharpies, actually. Yeah. We're kind of a pin snob, actually. Yeah.
So that's the finer tip one. All right, and that's got like the hard point on it, right?
Yeah.
I kind of used to like those. I was always interested because they would always have like a solid point on it, right?
Yeah.
The color. I never understood. Like, it's a great utensil. I love it. It'll tear up a piece of paper for sure, but it's I like those. It
makes everything you write down seem like really important.
Yeah. And you got to write differently a little. It's like almost like an angle with it. It's almost like a quill pin, but all right. Anything else for the day?
Then I'll work in my shop for a little while, or I'll take a yoga class.
Okay.
Something. Of course, yoga's been online, so it's really nice. You can just catch one on the computer real easy. We do lunch. Sonny gets a second breakfast between one of us. We go for a walk after lunch,
Nice.
and this is something that's like definitely a habit that we've like made a constant in our lives. We always go for a walk, if it's just a stroll around the block real quick, or if we take a real long, 4-mile walk.
Yeah.
This is where we do all of our talking and our churning and, talking about our wants and hopes and things we want to do. And if anything's bugging you, walking is meditation, just like we were saying. So that's our time. It's a good exercise to be walking and talking at the same time. So and then we decide while we're walking if we're working the rest of the day, if we're doing more time blocks, or if we're going to go do something fun.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I like that because I walk every day as well, except for Sundays. That's the shout out to Lebowski's. That's the Shabbos. But I like that connection. I definitely try to meditate. I do all my stuff in the morning, before the break of dawn. It's still dewy. The rabbits in the area are still hopping around and stuff like that. Crank out a nice little 5K and then start the day.
Nice.
But I kind of. I don't think that I've been meditating. I don't think I've been meditating the entire time, but it's more than likely what I've been doing the entire time.
Definitely.
I've been doing that since but I say April of last year, April 2020.
Awesome.
So just trying to go strong on that. Whenever the gym shut down, I was like, "What are you gonna do?"
That's great.
You gonna ride the couch? You gonna surf the couch, or are you gonna get out there and get a little vitamin D or something like that? So. All right, so you do that. What goes on? You have the lunch. How's the evening wind down, or the second half of the day?
Second half of the day, I'm a morning person. I'm not worth a whole lot at the end of the day.
You go to bed early?
I mean, yes. I used to be about staying up all night and all that, and partying hard, But I enjoy my sleep. If I can squeeze in like reading a little bit before bed or something, then. I get a big pat on the back by myself if I can stay awake long enough to read, read more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But my husband and I like to hang out. That's our time.
Cool.
The kid goes to bed about 7:30 or 8.
All
so
right.
we'll spend just a couple hours just like hanging out, being friends. You know.
TV prominent in the house or no?
No TV.
No TV.
Yeah.
No TV in the house at all?
We've never had
There's
a
not
TV
a
in our
set.
house.
Look at that. Okay.
I mean, my kid watches Curious George on
tablets and stuff.
on like a
on
tablet
the,
thing his grandma got us. And of course, now that we have that, it shows you how much like all your attention is drawn to it.
Yeah.
I try to not let him watch a lot of it, but even if it's
That's
running
good.
in the background, it's such a distraction.
Yeah.
And I always found it one of those, when you walk into someone's house, like the main piece of furniture in their house when you walk in is this giant TV. Mm-hmm. And I like the idea of not having one in the living room. It like forces people to talk or do something else. Or
almost like a parlor room, right?
Yeah.
I think we used to call those back then. Yeah, that's cool.
Parlor room.
All right. Excellent. Well, thank you for breaking down the day. I dig that. I like it a lot. Look at that. Randy Savage just toppled over. We got to get a stand for him. Okay, so of your day routine, what's one thing that you can't live without? The biggest one of those things you can't live without. I mean, you could say like interaction with your son or your husband, but like what else on that one? Those are kind of the givens.
God, I don't want to say coffee, but it is coffee.
Okay.
I drink way too much coffee.
Yeah, how many are you doing a day? How many cups or like?
So I brew about 8 cups.
8 cups.
And I hog all of it pretty much. I hog a lot of it.
What are you using to brew? Because we here at the Doctor's Orders podcast, we love coffee.
Yeah.
We got a lot of people that are digging on coffee. One of the other guests, guest number 20 for Volume 2, shout out to Julian Malby. Thanks for coming in, but he does, him and another friend of his they are roasters, coffee roasters, and they get these like beans from Mexico. Mm-hmm. So they're doing some tremendous stuff, and they do the nitro brew too, and they do like a lot of Mexican let's see, like the jugos, the juices, or the agua frescas and stuff like that. So that's cool that you do that. But what are you using to brew? You're a Keurig person or Mr. Coffee or what's going on there? French?
We're Chemex people. Yeah, coffee's a ritual, you know, and I think it should be savored, and you should buy good coffee. So we take our time. I do have an electric kettle, which I'm obsessed with. I use it 100 times a day.
That's cool.
I drink tea throughout the day too, but we're Chemex people, and I think that we got that from Costa Rica, because everyone in Costa Rica brews their coffee in a sack, like a little sock.
Tell me about that, because I don't know. So when you say Chemex, I don't know what you're talking about.
So Chemex, it looks like it's like a 2-foot little beaker. It looks like a science experiment with has a little like sock-like filter in it, and you put the ground coffee in it, and you pour hot water over it, nice and slow.
Okay,
that's it. It's so simple.
Would you call that a pour over? Or
yeah.
No? Okay.
Call it a pour over.
All right. Okay. I think I'm kind of seeing what you're doing there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coffee's tremendous. I love it. The wife downstairs, she's been kind of like trying to get away from it. She's saying like she's addicted, and like I don't know, it's coffee. I mean, more power to her. I love it. I drink it. I get a cup every day.
I do drink too much coffee. I will admit that.
Yeah. I'm not a 2-person guy or a 2-cup guy. I just do one.
I would like to dial it down.
Yeah.
I should dial it down.
If you want to, you can. I think you. But you also you work in a coffee.
I work in a coffee shop.
Coffee shop.
A couple days a week too.
Does your husband work there as well, or no?
My husband manages a brewery in North Austin, the Brewtorium.
Yes, we were talking about that. Okay, excellent.
We're craft beer people too, for sure.
Yeah, if you Freaks and Geeks, if you're in the Austin area and you haven't been out to the Brewtorium out there across the street from the old Highland Mall, go out there. It's a tremendous little spot. They got a lovely little back patio, some good food. It's great. I love that spot.
It is, yeah.
And then when the train line opens up, it's gonna. Hey, I don't know. I don't think we have a train anymore at the moment since they're working on it. But it used to run right there, right? And it was almost like a pit stop or something.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool. Do you go out there a lot over there?
I did. We're sharing one car between the two of us right now, and since we live in Lockhart, that's quite a ways. So not recently, our car actually got hit out in front of our house. It got totaled while we were eating breakfast a couple weeks back. So we've been one car short, and honestly, like it's been this awesome blessing in disguise because
working together.
I haven't been out of Lockhart.
Gotcha.
This is a treat coming here. Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you.
Got that small town thing going on now. I work literally 2 blocks away at.
You doing a lot of walking? No, so you're just walking to where you go? Walking to work? That's good.
I'm 2 blocks away. I walk to the El Dorado, which is the coffee shop I'm working at.
Yeah. How long have you been there?
Since it opened about 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah. How do you get up there? Do you have to go? Do you have to walk into the store and then up?
That's the toughest part. Nobody can find it. It's one of the oldest buildings in Lockhart. It's such a cool building.
Because it's on the second story, right?
It's on the second story. You got to walk through this old like skeleton key door to like go upstairs.
Do you have to walk through the establishment that's downstairs?
No.
So it's got its own.
It's got its own entrance.
Okay,
on Main Street, and San Antonio down there.
Okay,
it's a cool spot. It's really nice. Got good vibes.
I have heard about it, but I've seen like, I think I saw the grilled cheese sandwich or something like that recently, and like the pint that it comes with or something.
The food is insane.
That's cool. I have to check it out.
Pastries, we got like the most amazing pastries.
Does it have any connection with the establishment downstairs?
It does. Yeah. There's a family of owners that are in cahoots with the Little Trouble, which is the cool little bar down below.
Yeah, that's the underground one, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a minute since I made it out to the old LOC, but we'll see. It's definitely booming.
It is.
We spoke earlier that you were an Austinite. I am as well, but on your level that you spoke of, that you went to your early schooling, your middle schooling, and then you went to Dallas for your high schooling. I went and did like my middle schooling and high schooling out there.
Yeah.
In Lockhart. So it was very much a culture shock from the city of Austin. And I used to go to school when the Brutorium wasn't there before those days. So I went to school there's a Riley Elementary, which is right next to there. That's where I went to school at.
Cool.
So that's tremendous. Let's get to something random. Let me ask you a couple of randos here. Let's see. How much do you love what you do? And is there a time when you hate it or struggle with it? Speaking on the craftsman, or just in general, you can incorporate the working in the coffee shop as well.
I love what I do now. Absolutely. I bartended for years, which was a really great way to learn how to interact with people of all different kinds. So I learned a lot of skills there doing that, and I'm very grateful for that. But I love what I do now because I'm the boss.
Yeah.
And I love working with my hands. It's so grounding and it's rewarding. I get to be creative. The opportunities are endless with leather. I mean, everybody's got an idea to share with you. Oh, you should make this. Oh, you should make this. I mean, one of the hardest things is just reeling it in and being realistic with your time. The hardest part about it would be just managing my time with a kid. Just trying to be fair with my time and my husband's time, things like that.
Have you got him to make anything yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's my master stitcher now.
That's cool.
I got him stitching for sure.
Cool.
That helps me out so much. And I'm like the biggest grandma when it comes to like Instagram and the computer. If I look at a computer, it implodes. So I need his help, you know, printing things, like the simple things. He's really good with that. And he's just like, he's so supportive. Yeah. He's always encouraging me to like, do it. Just say yes. Yeah. You know,
that's cool.
Reach out, go stop by,
cool,
you know.
Cool.
And
what about your son? He's almost 2. Has he made anything, done anything?
He has his own little box of tools.
Shown curiosity?
Yes, definitely. He's really into sweeping right now.
I gotcha.
So I'm like, sweep the shop.
Hand?
Here you go.
I gotcha.
Yeah, get to work. Sweep the shop, kid.
Work from the way up.
Yeah.
That's the entry-level position there.
Yeah. As soon as he can take the trash out, we're in business.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be it right there. Okay, so let's go back in time a little bit. And did you have any favorite cartoons as a kid? And also, what about favorite cereals?
Ooh, well, favorite cereal is easy. That's Cocoa Krispies for me. Mm-hmm, no doubt.
And that's Rice Krispies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are tremendous.
Those are my favorite.
I like the Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles?
Fruity Pebbles, but cocoa ones.
The cocoa
ones. Those are really good. The cocoa's out of sight.
I think it's because my dad always used to put 2 cereal bowls in the freezer, and he'd put the milk in the freezer, and then it'd be kind of like a late night snack, and he'd get the bowls out and they were ice cold and shake the milk up so it was all icy. So it's kind of like a special treat.
And it turns to chocolate milk afterwards.
And it turns to chocolate milk afterwards.
How can you not like that?
Yeah,
that's excellent.
It's usually like a 2-bowl trip.
Yeah. That's definitely an advantage that the non-Choco cereals don't like. While their milks turn to other flavors, this one's turned into chocolate milk right there. But excellent. What about the cartoons?
Cartoons.
Were you a cartoon person?
I watched like the 90s cartoons, like Rocko's Modern World, like Ren and Stimpy. I loved Beavis and Butthead. I was never a Simpsons person. I think I could have gotten into it, but I don't know. I kind of dropped off.
Beavis and Butthead was great.
Beavis and Butthead
Mike
was
Judge,
great.
Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, that not a whole lot.
Okay, cool. Excellent. All right, so they're going to make a movie about you. Who's going to play you? Who do you want to play you?
Ooh, that's tough. Uma Thurman would be really hot.
Uma's great.
Yeah. I'm kind of like a Kill Bill fantasy kind of person.
Cool. I'm glad. I dig that you bring that
I would
up.
like to be in that kind of movie, maybe.
Yeah.
Action.
Who's her stunt double? Zoe Bell, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So that's tremendous. She was in the well, she's been in a lot of stuff on the stunt level. She was also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. As Russell. What's his name? Russell. It's not Russell Crowe. What's his name?
I can't.
Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell's husband. Kurt Russell's wife.
Goldie Hawn.
Yeah. No. Is it? That's who.
Which I love Goldie Hawn too, by the way.
Was that her? That's who that was? Or was it played? I don't know. Okay.
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know. I thought that was Zoe Bell, but who knows? I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to look that one up. So excellent. So we're gonna get Uma. We'll get Uma on the line. She does listen to the podcast, and we'll let her know.
Perfect. Yeah. Tell her I want to be your next stunt double.
There's a new role gonna come out. Excellent. Let's see. Do you have a bucket list?
I mean, I have places I want to travel to. I've been super fortunate. Places I've been, I've seen Stonehenge. I've hiked the Great Wall of China with my husband. Him and I got married actually on March 20th. We've been married 9 years, March 20th, too, coming up.
Excellent. So, congratulations.
But we got married in Gibraltar on the same day and in the same office as John and Yoko did, too. So we always...
Wow.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Try to put, I like travel goals.
Yeah.
So I want to go to Japan real bad.
Yeah.
There's a few Buddhist temples I want to go visit there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Badass. Yeah. I like it. Do you have any siblings?
I have one sister.
Okay.
She lives in Montana.
All right.
She's a really awesome artist, free spirit.
Cool.
She runs a hot sauce business called Witch Mountain.
All right.
That
Shout
she
out
just
to Witch
launched, and it's amazing. It's so good.
Cool.
I'm not just saying that because she's my sister. She really is good.
Were you a test dummy?
Yeah.
For the sauce?
Send me all the sauces. Yeah.
Cool. Do you speak any other languages?
A little Spanish.
Okay. All right.
Poquito.
All right. There we go. Let's see. What is this? How did this project begin for you? This your leather craftsman project.
When my husband and I moved to Asheville, North Carolina, it was only a week before I found an ad that was asking for an apprenticeship at a leather shop. I went and interviewed with my cowboy hat on, my cowboy boots, and I went in there, I can learn. And the owner there, his name is Ever Hecht. I'm so grateful for him. He definitely, held my hand, encouraged me to learn as much as I can. And
good guider.
Yeah. And I learned so much there. I worked at a shop, it was called Paul Taylor Sandals.
Okay.
It had been there for like 30 years or something. He had bought the business from the original owner. We made like the old hippie sandals where we trace your foot, fit your arch, the leather sandals and custom belts and bags and everything else. But people would always come into the shop and be like, hey, do you make, this and that and this and that? And they were asking for like fetish gear. And it was the one thing that we didn't make. So, once I was comfortable, I asked my boss if I could start taking on those projects. I stayed after and started making money that way on my own. Cool. Soon I came up with my own line of fetish gear and put them in a few different like shops around Asheville, some different lingerie shops. Yeah. They're still there. There's a shop there called Va Va Voom that's so awesome that I sell a bunch of gear in. So that's how it started.
I like that you found I don't want to say, I'll say it, but you found the weakness in the establishment and what they weren't providing. And you're like, all right, well, let's get it.
Right,
You got X amount of people coming in asking for this and they're walking out without it. So next time they walk in, they'll be able to walk away with it.
There's a market for everything, and
I believe it.
Yeah.
Do you believe, while I believe that, do you believe in ghosts or aliens?
Ooh, yes and yes.
Yes and yes. You got any stories or insights on that?
I believe in I'm not going to say I don't believe in something because I don't think I'm the authority to say I know. But
you ever seen anything like that?
I've definitely had feelings here and there. The building that El Dorado, the coffee shop I work in, is supposed to be super haunted, and I'm always there early in the morning, like 6 in the morning. So I'm always looking for ghosts, you
Yeah.
know? I'm always like waiting for the, you know,
Yeah.
turn the corner. Hadn't happened yet, but
Maybe one day.
maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Call out to it.
Aliens, most definitely, though.
Okay.
If they're not already here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. If they never left.
Yeah.
But have you ever seen anything like that? Unidentified so-and-so or whatsoever? Not a weather balloon?
Unidentified, I feel like is so broad because I'm like, I mean, just some of the crazy animals that are here on this planet right now.
You can't even...
Who knows? You know. I think there's more senses than just our six senses, you know, so.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, let's just do a few more. I would say like 2 more on these randos, and then we'll crack right into it. What do you like most about beer?
Ooh, well, I like that it's so versatile. I like that there's a beer for every different situation, different meal, different trip, whatever you're doing. You know, like, you know, if I'm sitting on my back porch, I want to drink a Pacifico, you know, but...
This your go-to?
This is my go-to.
I gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, a Pacifico. You know, if it's cold out, you know, you might want something a little heavier.
You like a stout or a porter?
Love stouts and porters.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm not too big on them, but tell me more about those. What got you into that?
I mean, I'm not much of a winter person, so I'm looking for all the I'm looking for all the good
Take
things.
advantage of it when it
I
comes
like
around?
hot tubs. I like you know, dark beer.
Yeah. Cool.
You know.
Let's see. Do you like any seltzers? The hard seltzers? How do you feel about that craze lately?
Not a big fan of the hard seltzers, honestly. I kind of feel like it's I don't know. If I want a seltzer, I'll drink a seltzer.
Yeah.
If I want a beer, I'm gonna drink beer.
Yeah. I would recommend Deep Ellum. Their brewery, but also their hard seltzer. That's some good stuff.
Really? I've never, and you know, I'm not talking from experience.
Yeah.
I haven't had them, but I would try them.
I'm not one of those other mainstream seltzers, whatever their names are. No. I stick with them. Yeah, the Deep Ellum. It's called Blind Lemon Seltzer.
Blind lemon
It's
seltzers.
great.
Okay.
It's great.
I'd try it.
I love it. Okay, so all right, got last one for you.
Okay.
Do you have any hidden talents, or do you have any? Tell us something that the Freaks and Geeks, wherever they're at, would be surprised to know about you.
I can recite the Greek alphabet for some reason, and I don't remember where I learned that.
Okay,
that's a weird thing.
What? What is? Let's see. What's S?
I just know it in the order.
Oh!
I know it by. I must have learned it in like grade school, and it stuck.
Okay.
Which I wish other things had stuck.
Like, why did that? How'd you learn the Greek alphabet in grade school?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't remember learning it, but it's just one of those things that's there.
Yeah.
Gosh, I wish I could replace some information in my brain with other things.
Yeah.
You know.
I got a lot of Seinfeld quotes and stuff like that.
Oh
in
yeah.
my brain, so.
Seinfeld for sure.
So there's a lot of those that are taking up space in the old the cranium here. Well, thank you for the random questions. You did tremendous on them. Let's move on to the then and now. So, how was life growing up? You say you grew up in Austin. How was life growing up there for you? And just let's go with that. How was life growing up in Austin for you?
Growing up in Austin was amazing. I'm so lucky. I have a pretty large family that all live in the Austin area. Okay. 3 aunts, 3 uncles. Yeah. You know, my aunts all own horses and do the farm life thing. Got the hippie farm life going on. So we're always around, you know, animals and the outdoors growing up. We were always hanging around in the lake and, you know, the rivers and Barton Springs.
Tremendous.
And music. You know, music is such a big part of my childhood growing up here in Austin.
Did you go to any festivals back in the day, whether it's the South bys or the ACLs or anything like that?
We were always at all the ACLs. Yeah. The Saxon Pub.
Yeah.
I hope it hangs tight.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope a lot of them hang on, continue to hang on. It's difficult. Like the ticket values now are through the roof because it's what it has to be to make up for all that stuff. It's hard to get you can't buy a ticket for that show that you bought a year ago. It's not even, it doesn't exist anymore. So
it was cool though. It's cool we got such a cool culture growing up here in Austin, just like, you know, the Mexican culture with like that honky tonk thing we got going on too. It's just so unique. When you go anywhere else, you start missing Austin
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah. So being an Austinite, is there a place in your heart for a breakfast taco?
Oh, Bolden Creek. Absolutely.
Okay.
That is my spot.
Someone said, I think I knew. All right. Bolden Creek. That's on is in East Austin area?
It's on Mary Street and South First.
Okay.
And South First, like south of the river.
I don't know
First.
why I know that name. Someone has brought that up.
It used to be the caffeine dealer.
Okay.
And then they changed locations, but it's Bolden Creek. It's the best breakfast place, best vegetarian restaurant.
I'll have to check it out.
Oh, man. Their tofu scramble. It'll get you.
All right. So this being then and now, then who is your best friend? And now who is your best friend? Growing up.
Ooh. Then I had a best friend named Bevan Mason.
Mm-hmm.
She lives in Dallas now. She was
So
definitely.
you still talk with her?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I was a bridesmaid at her wedding.
Tremendous.
A couple months ago, no, a year ago. Time's flying.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was definitely my trouble. Her and I were total trouble together.
Okay.
Skipping school, doing all the bad things,
The fun things.
The only time I ever went to jail for a moment, her and I got to sit in there together. Yeah, she was my buddy. And
Let's never come back here again.
Yeah, she's my buddy in crime for sure. Yeah. And she's still a good friend because she's one of those people I don't talk to for 6 months, and I can just pick up the phone and be like,
"What's up?
What's up?"
Yeah. Excellent.
Now I think, especially, I've discovered a new best friend with all of this coronavirus stuff going on. Her name's Brooke Keller. She lives here in Buda.
Okay.
Her and her husband, same age as Ryan and I, my husband and I. And they had their kid 5 months before we did. So we have lots of similar interests, and our kids are buddies.
You can reach out and ask questions and help, advice and stuff like that.
Yeah, she helped guide me through pregnancy and being a mom. And she really is just the most generous and kind-hearted person. She holds space for people like no one else I've been around.
Cool.
I mean, we're car shopping right now. Or I've been looking at cars, and I just mentioned it last week. And she called me today and was like, or sent me a text today and was like, "Hey, how's car shopping going?" She remembers things you say, which is just unique nowadays.
Yeah. I love that. I love
special
that.
people.
All right. So what about books? So this is a large question here.
Okay.
So books, movies, music, or TV favorites then and now. And you don't have to drop all of them if you want to stick with one of those, if you want to stick with two. But what were the ones of those from your past and of your present that you really got down on?
A book that always stuck with me was, of course, the Tao Te Ching. My dad passed on a copy of the Tao Te Ching to me that, I still have his Post-it notes in it.
Yeah.
And I both are into Post-it notes.
Yeah.
So that's a special book to me, and it's one of those things I can open up and it just rings true every time.
Yeah.
I loved The Four Agreements is another book that maybe I read in high school, and it's always stuck with me. And of course, I just went through a yoga teacher training, so my bookshelf got a lot heavier through that, with a bunch of amazing books that I'm, chomping at right now.
Yeah.
The one I'm reading right now is it's called The Wheels of Life, and it's diving into the chakra systems.
Yeah.
It's like the Bible of chakra systems. If Western culture has taken the chakras bumper stickers and everything else, but I was interested in what the roots of it were. So this book definitely can explain it for you.
The origin of it.
Yeah, I want to know what and why. You know.
Yeah.
Another book I'm reading right now is Nonviolent Communication by Marshall B. Rosenberg. And this book was suggested to me by Marnie Castor from Practice Yoga Austin. And she claims, this book will completely change your life.
Yeah.
And it's about being mindful with every single thing that you say.
Yeah.
Like how much weight each word actually has. And if you're interested in teaching yoga or...
The response, not the reaction. Have you heard that?
Yes.
I've heard that recently. That sounds like what you're kind of alluding at there.
Yeah, you can avoid all types of anger and stress and anxiety and stuff by just, the way we communicate with each other and the way you communicate with yourself. All those things.
Cool. What about movies or anything like that from the past or from the present?
I am one of those people that I'm always missing the joke because I never saw that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm always like, what movie?
Yeah.
What movie? I haven't seen it. So movies are kind of, are over my head.
You dropped the Kill Bill earlier.
I dropped the
That's
Kill Bill,
tremendous,
yeah. I like action movies.
Okay.
I'm an Arnold Schwarzenegger type of fan.
All right.
You
The
know,
Chopper.
Yeah, First
right.
Blood type of person.
No,
If-
they
you
drew
know,
First Blood.
Yeah,
Okay.
if I want to, if I want to watch a movie, I want to like stand
Yeah.
up and get into it. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Those are some cult
I like
classics
action.
right there.
Yeah,
Those are
I
great.
like action.
Yeah. Do you have how do you watch? Oh well, y'all don't have a TV, right? So this would have been in the past. Okay, I got you. All right. So my next question for you: do you have any life lessons that you learned as a kid that you still live by? Special ones or anything like that?
I mean, one of the most important lessons that I hope to pass on to my kid is just, being aware of other people's time. Mm-hmm. I'm never late. I claim I've never been late to work ever.
You were early here.
Yeah,
Super early.
I was early here.
Thank you.
I've never been late. Mm-hmm. And if I'm gonna be, if I think I'm gonna be late, you let somebody know. Like holding, caring about other people's time is an important quality.
Crucial. Yeah.
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 And so that's one of those things that
got to care about the others if they're going to care for you to do
that's
for
right.
you. You know what I mean?
Time's all we got.
Yeah,
So.
I love that. I love punctuality there.
Yeah.
So let's see. What was your favorite place to travel? Where was your favorite place to travel to as a kid and now?
Favorite place to travel to as a kid? Definitely Mexico.
Okay.
Just the water and, playing on the beach and all that. Most recent travels, my husband and I went to Beijing, China.
Excellent.
We probably had a few too many beers one night, and that's kind of how we pick our trips anyways. You always have to have a trip to look forward to, so we kind of play spin the bottle with where we're going. But we went to Beijing, and we had the most amazing time.
That's cool.
Went and hiked the Great Wall.
Yeah, excellent. How long were y'all out there for?
We were there like 2 weeks.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Was this before your son?
This is before my son.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's a feat right there. You spoke earlier about drinking beers on the wall. That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, that's tremendous.
We hired this fella to drive us way out. We paid this farmer who we actually climbed up like a ladder from his property onto like a part of the old wall, and we hiked 8 miles which doesn't sound like. I mean, it was like an all-day thing, but
just
up and down,
right?
Crawling over rocks, like the old wall.
Yeah.
It took all day. The next day we we were destroyed. Our legs were jello, but best beer I've ever had.
Cool. Do you remember the name of it?
Ooh, I do not.
No, that's all right.
We bought some beads and we sat there. A guy was sitting there with like a cooler and an ice cold cooler of beer.
Yeah.
At the end, it's like 8 miles, and we took once we were at like the like popular part of the wall, you could take like a toboggan, like this like slide all the way from the top of the wall down back to where the buses were.
Okay.
It was awesome.
Wow, I'll have to look into that. I've never. I mean, I know about the wall, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know much. So that's awesome. A lot
wild.
of great travel discussions. What did you dream that you wanted to be as a kid, versus what do you dream to be now?
I definitely wanted to work with animals. I always pictured myself like working with horses, and maybe that's because
your family, right?
All my aunts, my aunts trained horses or raised goats, and so they were my heroes growing up. So definitely wanted to work with animals.
Can you do the whole roping thing?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I love to ride. I haven't been riding in a while, but yeah.
Have you made a saddle yet?
I have not made a saddle yet. I'm working my way to that for sure.
Excellent, nice. Mm-hmm. So you wanted to work with horses, or with animals when you were growing up. What about now? What's the dream now?
The dream now is to just be self-sustainable.
Yeah.
Like I said, I value time. I value other people's time here and now, living in the moment. So I figure working for yourself is probably the best way to do that.
Yeah.
I control my time.
Yeah.
I don't, I can work as much or as little as I want. The reward is how much I put into it. So, and the ultimate goal is for my husband us both to do this together.
Yeah.
So ideally that's hopefully where we're headed.
Excellent. Tremendous. All right, let's go with, do you have any hobbies or obsessions from your past and from now?
Hobbies. My husband and I have always played music together. Cool. He is an amazing guitar player.
Okay.
I am not very musical, but I
Yeah.
love to do it.
Yeah.
I've always played the drums.
Okay.
And he plays guitar, and we just
Cool.
like, that's like our private fun time.
Nice.
We've never recorded anything, but we've always played music. We've
Yeah.
always lugged all our instruments everywhere we've lived.
Cool.
You know, put them in our van. We'll like get rid of our kitchen table just as long as we could keep our drum set type of thing, you know.
That's awesome.
So yeah, maybe like kind of a back of my mind obsession would be to maybe record at some point.
Yeah.
Even for like my husband's sake, I'd love to do that because I know he would love to.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, we call our music Coconut Slug is our
Coconut
name.
Slug. All right.
And we've made a few like, you know,
Tracks. Why Coconut Slug?
we play like dark surf.
Okay.
I'd call it like dark surf if
All right.
anything, but
Cool.
yeah, we like to play loud and
Yeah.
grungy. It's kind of like our outlet, but it's always been kind of a consistent obsession
awesome.
for us. Harder with a kid though.
Yeah.
I will
yeah,
say
yeah.
that.
Yeah. All right. What about as you're growing up? What about that? Any hobbies or anything like that?
My parents definitely pushed me into sports and stuff.
Okay.
I always played soccer.
So you weren't that major into the fine arts as far as like music then when you were growing up?
No, you know, honestly, like my parents didn't play music.
Yeah.
They played the radio, you know, like.
But they they didn't have a guitar in the house or a piano or anything like that?
No, I wish
Yeah.
they would have.
Yeah.
I wish I were pushed in that direction when I was younger. I probably would have been more satisfied with
Yeah.
music at this point. But yeah, it was more like sports. I played tennis and basketball in high school. So yeah, I was always like in tennis lessons or
All right.
like golf lessons
Yeah.
or like that kind of thing outside of school, like being a kid.
Do you think you still have a high competitive nature?
Definitely.
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah. I like to pretend like I don't, but
Yeah.
you know.
Well, no, like if that's instilled in you, like it was, but was that at the high school level or was that way from like, I call it like Pop Warner, but like the youth sports leagues, or was that more in like middle school? When did that start, the sports?
When I was a kid. I mean,
Okay.
I played when I was itty bitty.
So this was like elementary area.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Okay. And
yeah.
then it just
I was
worked
always
all the way
playing.
up.
Yeah.
Cool. Did
You know,
ever
when the
do any-
kids just like travel around in a tiny like mob on the
Yeah.
field.
Did you ever do any like league basketball or anything, or was it all for the school?
Yeah, I played league basketball, and then Austin used to have this basketball camp every summer called like Pips
Okay.
that I was in like every summer, but it was
Yeah.
like learning cool basketball tricks.
Yeah.
But it got shut down because we had chain basketball hoops, and our like coach was showing us all these like cool moves, and he jumped up to dunk it, and he pulled his finger off because he had a
In the
ring on
net?
his finger.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it was all over after that.
That's done. It's all over the shouting. Do you have a favorite basketball player, male or female?
That's hard. I had a rooster that we named Larry Bird once.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So, like, where were you getting your basketball drive? Well, you're more. Did you like tennis more or basketball more?
I mean, the drive came from my dad was like a pusher, like you know, play
Aggressive.
hard.
Yeah. Don't take the loss. Go for the win.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Here's the last one on the then and now, and then we're going to move on to another segment here. But
Okay.
if you could go back, this one's deep. If you could go back in time with a message for yourself, what are you going to say? What are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell you? Lottery numbers, something.
I would just tell myself to not take myself so seriously,
Okay.
to chill out a little bit,
Yeah.
and yeah, maybe to be nicer to my body.
Yeah.
I would have treated my body a little better if I had known.
That's a crazy, like, think about, this is the first time I ever asked that question, but like,
It's a good question.
Thank you. You roll up to yourself when you're younger. Your younger self's gonna be like, dude, get the fuck away from me. Who are you? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm me. No, you're a
Right?
creep.
Yeah.
Get away. But I have so much information for
Golly.
you. Fuck off. I gotta go.
I have so many things I would tell my younger self.
Yeah. But then, like, would your younger self like listen? That's the opposite spectrum. Who knows?
I hoped
Who
I
knows?
would.
Yeah.
I hope
Would they
my
be-
true self was in there,
Yeah.
you know.
It's how would you get to talk with them? Because you can't go talk to your parents. You're like, you're just some old, wacky old person. Like, who are you? You're from the future? Get the fuck out of here. All right. So excellent. I like that. Let's go on and let's talk about the vegetarian practice, okay?
All right.
So how long has vegetarian lifestyle been part of your life?
So, I mean, growing up in Austin, it's like meat and potatoes every day.
Yeah.
But
Your parents didn't observe
no, they
that
were total meat eaters. Yeah. But I'd say about 10 years ago, my dad was battling cancer, and it was getting to the point where we were like looking for any solution, all these like different trials and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we kept reading about vegetarianism, veganism as being like a really effective way to slow the effects of, terminal cancer. So the only way to get my very stubborn father to eat vegetarian was if we went along with him, because we were buying groceries. We were,
Well, that's good.
We went in with him.
Yeah, that's tremendous. That it was support. It wasn't just like, eat that, and then we're going to be turning down on what we want to eat. That's cool. Good support system on that.
We committed, and it definitely caught on because we felt better. And maybe because it was a younger self too, it like stopped like drinking so much and all the other excess things.
Yeah.
After he passed, we continued being vegetarian for years. We're happy vegetarians. And now it's kind of funny how it's evolved. I believe in vegetarian lifestyle for some people. I think everybody needs to,
check it out,
examine themselves, and then decide what's the best diet for them.
Yeah.
But just finding sustainable, good sources of food is the most important thing. Our thing now is we're never going to let anything go to waste. I mean, if we come to your house and you're cooking barbecue, if you're about to throw something in the trash, I'm going to eat it, I'm more about not wasting things.
Definitely. Yeah. Because that I don't want to say corpse, that being had its lifespan, and like it didn't die.
Yeah.
It wasn't taken off this planet for nothing.
You got to honor the animal.
And just throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
You killed it just to throw it in the trash.
That seems like such a worse thing than eating meat is just wasting it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree. What's your favorite and least favorite vegetable?
My favorite would be the stinky Brussels sprout.
All right. The wife loves those.
I love Brussels sprouts. They just feel good to eat, Feels like you're getting the vitamins when you eat them.
You do the whole balsamic vinegar tossing of that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I like lemon on them. I put them in my Instapot, or do them in the oven so they're crispy. I'm a collard green girl too.
Okay.
Love some collard greens and some cornbread. It's probably like my favorite vegetarian meal.
Nice.
Yeah, I cook that a lot.
Nice.
Least favorite would probably be maybe the eggplant. It's
okay.
She's pretty, but
I
if I could go without one.
If you fry her up, she's tremendous.
Yeah.
Oh, I love her fried.
Yeah. I mean,
a
piece of garden hose would be good fried up too,
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I agree. No, I don't agree on that. But whatever.
Yeah, she's pretty, but
what's your favorite vegetarian dish?
Definitely the collard greens and cornbread.
Okay, yeah.
I like noodles of all kind.
Okay.
We make lots of noodles.
Cool. Do y'all do eggs?
Yes,
okay,
we do
cool,
eat eggs.
Cool. Excellent. Do you have a favorite vegetarian restaurant?
I think I said it earlier.
I think you did.
Definitely Bolden Creek.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
just everything on their menu is good.
Excellent. What about out of state? Out of state, like out of the area. Is there anything that sticks to mind as far as those restaurants in your travels? Like, what'd you do when you went to the Wall? What'd you get down with there?
A lot of meat there, actually.
Okay.
There are always these like people selling these sesame buns, these awesome sesame buns on the street, and my husband and I definitely we'd clean them out. And dim sum, of course. There's like 24-hour dim sum places that are like 4 stories high.
Yeah.
You go in there, people are like smoking cigarettes and like drinking beer.
Is
and,
that the one where
just like
on the conveyor belt?
No,
Did you see
not the one I've seen that. That's pretty cool. But yeah,
that's excellent.
I remember like a couple midnight runs to this really awesome dim sum place.
Tremendous. Yeah, I love a good dim sum. That's great. What are your go-to ingredients to cook with?
Definitely coconut oil.
Yeah.
I use coconut oil for everything. I put it in my coffee, put it on my base.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I use that to cook with a lot.
It makes a killer popcorn too.
Yeah.
Have you use that with the Yeah.
We're big
I love
popcorn people too.
Love it.
We do lots of coconut oil. Zucchini is always a good one. You can use it
Yeah.
as noodles, a substitute for meat, you know.
Zoodles, yeah.
Yeah, zoodles.
Cool. Yeah, zucchini's great. I dig that too.
It's versatile.
How do you feel about the sweet potato?
Love the sweet potato.
Yeah. I used to not like it, and then when I went on my little venture of just getting down with the veggies, we brought the sweet potato in, and I love that. But what about you?
I love sweet potatoes. I'm not into the like marshmallow sweet potato thing. That's weird to me.
I don't like that.
I don't know what that is.
No. I hate that. I don't like that at all.
I'm glad you feel that way too.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
Some butter and some salt and pepper on that thing.
Yeah.
It's simple and so
Toast
good.
it up. Yeah, I like it with it makes some killer stuff with the grilling cheese. You ever get down with grilling cheese?
Yeah.
Grilling cheese and some sweet potato, some tomatoes, some onions and stuff like that. Maybe with avocado too.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Great.
Sweet potato and avocado next to each other work so well.
Yeah, they're out of sight. What about acai? Do you get down with acai?
Acai. I eat some acai. I mean, mainly in smoothies.
Yeah.
Do lots of smoothies and protein shakes. So that's always in there.
There's a spot in Austin that, since you're a coffee cat, it's called Blenders and Bowls. It's an Austin little institution, but they have an acai blend with coffee, and it's really good. It's really good. I forget what it's called, but it's got coffee in it. It's
Sounds
tremendous.
good.
Really
I'll try
good. You get down with Morningstar, or do you get down with Boca Burgers? What's up with that? That's what I that's how I got turned on to eating, veggie based.
Yeah, I mean, I would choose Boca over
Okay.
Morningstar. There's a spicy chicken patty Boca burger that we buy, and I cut up and put buffalo sauce on it, make kind of like buffalo chickeny tacos. But even better than that, have you ever heard of corn? It's Quorn. It's like an orange box.
Really?
Or whatever.
Okay.
It's made out of mushroom protein.
All right.
It blows these two out of the water.
I'll have to check that out.
It's good. I mean,
Corn, okay.
for a chicken substitute,
Yeah.
like the texture and
Made out of
everything on
mushroom?
it, it's right on.
All right, I'll check that
Yeah,
out.
it's good.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring up the spicy bocas, because shout out to Duff Harris. He put me on those.
Those are good.
Yeah, they're really good. Love them. What's your favorite cultural cuisine? For your vegetarian cultural cuisine, and if you need to grab something out, you got it. Cool. Excellent.
I mean, I love Thai food.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of the place. There's this little Thai place on Mary Street in Austin.
Okay.
But
I don't know.
yeah, love Thai food.
Cool.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Big. I like a big pho bowl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You getting the tofu on all those options, or what?
Yeah,
Okay.
tofu people for sure. Definitely
You like
Matt's El Rancho. We go do our Tex-Mex, which
Yeah. Do you like the curries, the Thai curries?
Yeah,
I love
love
them.
Thai
Those
curry.
out of sight. I love them. Even with we get down on the tofu too. Like, I'll get a tofu spring roll. I love those. And even tofu in the curry, tremendous.
yeah,
I love it.
saffron.
A lot. Yeah. Oh man, and I love the basil, tremendous, or basil.
So
Shout out
many
to
beautiful
everybody.
spices.
Yeah, colors, a lot of good colors, man. Just different utilizations of tomato or potato or bell pepper, even the like I just mentioned, the basil. Love it.
I feel like when people claim they don't like curry, I'm like, there's no way you've tried all the curries because they're
Yeah. It used to be me. I used to claim I didn't like curry.
Yeah, it's
and
like, I don't
then-
like curry. It's like, well, there's so many kinds.
that
and
coconut one is a
that coconut,
slammer.
yeah, come on.
Yeah, it's tremendous. it's almost too good. All right, so last one, close it out. What's your favorite non-vegetarian dish that you like from the past? Something that you're like, man, that's the slammer. That's love it.
Probably just because of nostalgic reasons, I would say a flank steak that is a little overcooked with some ketchup, because that's what my grandmother always had cooking for us. We spent all of our time at our grandma's house.
Yeah.
She lived right out by the airport here in Austin, but
The Mueller Airport or the new airport?
the ABA.
Okay. All right.
But I mean, every time we were over there, it was a baked potato, canned green beans,
Yeah.
a flank steak
Yeah.
that's overcooked,
Yeah.
and ketchup. That's like what was always cooking. And not that that's like the best thing ever, but like
it's home.
If that
to
were
you,
sitting on the table, I'd eat
Yeah,
it right now because just it's such a good memory.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, food can always bring those solid memories. What kind of ketchup was it? Do you know? Was it Heinz?
Probably the terrible fructose syrupy one.
The Hunts or
Yeah,
something
probably
like that?
so, but
yeah,
you know.
dang it. Heinz is we're a Heinz household here, and a podcast as well. So that was our little vegetarian talk. I appreciate it. Hey, whoa, freaks and geeks! Let me talk to you real quick about our sponsor, the original, the OG sponsor of the Doctor's Orders podcast. Who is that, you may ask? Well, that's Greenbelt Botanicals. And what do they do? Well, Greenbelt Botanicals is the most trustworthy and reputable CBD dispensary in the Austin area. And if you're not in the Austin area and you can't drop in physically to one of their multiple locations around the city, then make sure you hit them up at greenbeltbotanicals.com. And just for being a listener, a loyal freak and geek of the Doctor's Orders podcast, they've hooked us up with our official Freaks and Geeks promo code, and that's all caps FootDoctor15, FOOTDR15, and they're going to cash us in. They're going to help us out with 15% off at checkout, in store or online, for listening to this podcast. If you have any questions about CBD, if you have any questions about any product reviews, go check them out. What do they got? They've got CBD smokables. They've got Delta 8 THC smokables. They got CBD and Delta 8 tinctures. Multiple things out there. The CBD dog treats. They've got it all. They've got CBD infused sparkling water, CBD infused chocolate, CBD infused taffy. There are many things. They've got a boatload, a wall load of CBD smokables, pre-rolls, and they've got your loose flower as well. So please, Freaks and Geeks, head on over to greenbeltbotanicals.com, dive in and explore the world of CBD, explore the world of hemp, because they're heading to the future and they've got some tremendous things coming out. So head on over to greenbeltbotanicals.com, use that official Freaks and Geeks promo code, and continue to support the sponsor, because the sponsor supports the podcast. Now let's get back to the show. Let's get into the goods, all right? Let's get into what you do. So tell us about Good Omen Goods. How long has it been going down, and why do you do it?
It's been going down for about 6-7 years now.
All right.
I told you when I moved to North Carolina, I apprenticed under a fellow named Ever Hecht at Paul Taylor Sandals. Learned everything I knew there. Started making fetish gear.
Yeah.
And that's just really where I was learning all the tricks of the trade. I started building up my inventory of tools.
Yeah.
So many tools in the leather biz. Started.
What, you got the round head knife?
I do have the round head knife.
Cutting board?
I have a cutting board.
The scratch awl?
I have many scratch awls.
All right.
Yes.
What about the edge guide? You got that?
I do have an edge guide.
Mallet?
I probably have most of these. I have the maul, the big heavy maul, the light maul.
Maul mallet, yeah.
Yeah.
So have you been to a Tandy store? Did I say that right?
Yeah, I've been into a Tandy store.
I've never even heard of that till I started investigating into this stuff. What's that about? What's a Tandy store?
It's like the commercial leather store.
So is Tandy a brand?
I think it's a brand.
Okay.
They sell, if you wanted to make a medicine pouch necklace for yourself and you're like, where do I go get the crap for this? Go to a Tandy store. They have, the basic tools you need. Yeah. They sell hides. I think their hides are tad expensive, not to be snobby about it, but I prefer to buy through Weaver Leather. Okay. I think is a wholesome company.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Who are some? Well, you spoke about who you learned off of from back in was it North Carolina?
Mm-hmm.
Carolina?
Nashville.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nashville. But who are some of the other leather craftsmen that have inspired you? And have you taken any of their personal techniques and added them to your style?
Ooh, I can't think of names right off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. Of course, Instagram has been such a place for connections with makers and crafters and things. Mm-hmm. So there's people that I'm always following who are doing unique things, like doing marbling painting on leather and stuff, which I think is really cool. And there's definitely a community there of being supportive because every leather maker makes a tote. Every leather maker makes a knife sheath.
Yeah.
So like thinking that you're being unique by doing, a clutch.
Yeah.
It's better to be supportive, and there's a nice community there of like sharing tools and different tool makers and stuff. So yeah, I'm just inspired by seeing more women in the trade. I'd say it's definitely a male dominated trade.
Yeah.
So watching more and more women come out.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
And you're one of them.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's see. What are your 10 we just spoke about the tools, but what are your, I say 10, but what are your go-to tools that you recommend for people that are interested in doing this, a leather craftsman?
So I'd say the number one most important tool in leather craft is a sharp knife.
Okay.
All the mistakes and things not being neat and clean is because your knife's not sharp enough.
Yeah.
I go through so many blades, and
Is that on the X-Acto scale?
on the
That one?
X-Acto scale, yeah. I mean,
right.
I every time you're making a new cut, get a new blade. That's number one, and everything's gonna be so much better.
Yeah.
You need a solid straight edge. A stitching pony is nice, so you don't hurt your back.
Okay.
Which my husband has learned now that he's my my stitcher. He's like, this is killing me. I had to hook him up with the stitching pony, which is basically a horse you sit on and stitch.
Really?
A good heavy maul, a rotary punch.
Okay.
You need your own awl that feels good in your hand. My husband and I both have our own awls. I don't like him messing with mine. He doesn't like me messing with his.
So it's a scratcher, right?
Yeah,
That's what that
it's
does?
a pokey tool. It's a poker, know. But yeah, it's basically for lining out patterns before you cut them.
Cool.
A good sharp skiver, which is what you use to take a plane of the leather off if you want it a little thinner, like to fit a snap or to fit a rivet or something. Again, just being able to sharpen a blade is like such a useful tool.
Yeah.
And then I'd say just like a really good light. You need really good lights.
Yeah, good light.
I feel like the most irritating thing is when I'm like, I can't,
can't see.
I can't see.
Yeah.
I need more light, know, but having good shop lights and air ventilation, just because some of it does get stinky with glue and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
You got an edge beveler? What's up with that?
An edge beveler?
Yeah.
I do. I use a number 3 pretty much on everything.
Okay.
And same thing. You got to keep them sharp. And the second you start to feel like they're not working well.
And those are wood, right?
They got wood handles. Maybe you're thinking of a burnisher.
The one that you put on there and it makes the sides smoother?
That's a burnisher.
Okay, burnisher. Okay,
So
okay.
I actually have an electric burnisher. It's like a little motorized. It has a buffer on one side and a burnisher on the other for doing like the edges of wallets and all.
Yeah.
My most recent tool, the addition, is
tell us about that.
We got a laser machine, and so now I feel like we're expanding some because we're starting to put like breweries logos on.
Yeah, I
key
saw some of
fobs.
that. Yeah, I did. And like little patches and stuff.
Yeah, we can do patches and leather key fobs, things like that. If you have like a cool logo, we can put it on there. But I feel like that's up in our game. So now, now we can crank out, you want 100, we can do it. You know,
that's good.
Kind of starting to expand into that.
Excellent. Tremendous. All right. So let's see. What do you, we talked smells earlier, but, leather's huge when it comes to smell. That's one of the things that you think of when you think of leather is the smell of it. And it's never, for me, I've never had a bad experience with the smell of leather.
Oh yeah.
It's always tremendous when it's newest, and then it kind of starts to teeter off a little bit. But what about that smell do you like, and does it bring any memories up for you?
I mean, it's definitely the most common comment when someone walks in your shop or walks up to your booth at a craft thing. They're like, "Oh, the smell is so good." It's definitely nostalgic.
Yeah.
Especially if you have any like history, like being around horses and saddles. If it's that orange and vanilla and tobacco-y flavor, in your nose, And I actually.
What you got? Go for it.
I actually brought you one of these.
Whoa, what is this?
So I
heard about this.
I make a leather hand sanitizer. It smells like a saddle shop. It's amazing.
Can I try it out right now? This is the first.
This is for you.
Thank you so much. This is a first for the Doctor's Orders podcast.
Yeah.
Gifts. We're gonna try this live on the air.
So I was doing like markets and craft shows and all. And of course, with COVID and everything going on, everybody's got to have hand sanitizer, but everybody's, oh, it smells so good.
This is great.
It smells so good.
This is bananas.
I know. It's addicting.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
So when did you start making these?
I started making this like around Christmas time just because I was doing craft shows and you had to have hand sanitizer. And I'm like, I'm going to make my own because everybody loves the smell of leather, Dang.
Have you seen this before?
No.
What?
My old boss and I used to joke with each other. We're like, if everybody that came into the shop was like, oh, it smells so good in here.
Yeah.
And we were like, if we could just put this smell in a bottle. And I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm putting it in a bottle.
Dang, this is great.
Yeah.
This is out of sight and it smells like this.
Legit. Yeah.
Freaks and Geeks. This happened live in the last maybe half a minute that I sprayed this stuff, and it is true to what it. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll sanitize your hands too.
And it's still around. It's still sticking around, and I love that. That's what you want. That's what you miss from the from leather. Is it? Like I said, it loses its smell after a while.
Yeah.
Man. So this is a pop-up question right now. I don't and if this question gives away I can't say that because it's going to give away my secrets. How do you get this to smell like this? What is that?
It's tobacco and vanilla and a lot of the oils that like saddle makers and stuff use. They use like a real orange. So using like real orange essence in there. I'm not going to tell you how I get the leather smell in there.
That's all right. That's all right.
I'll keep that my secret. But it's that orange, that sweet orange, because a lot of the oils that they use on nice leathers.
Man, I love this.
Orange stank.
Oh, thank
orange
you so much.
Stank in there. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. That's excellent. Oh man, we're on fire here, Freaks and Geeks. I love that. So we talked smells, and you popped off with the hand sanitizer right there. So what's your favorite leather good to make, and what's your least favorite leather good to make? Did I ask you that already?
No.
Okay, I thought I did, but I had to triple check.
Honestly, I really like making the fetish collars I make.
Mm-hmm. The starter, that was the starter, the OG, right?
That was the OG, yeah. And maybe because it was the OG, but I picked the nicest leather I can find. I use solid brass, so since it's just a collar, it doesn't take me too terribly long to make. So it's like, it's satisfying to be able to make it from beginning to end in one sitting.
Yeah.
I know that it's quality. It's beautiful when it's done.
Yeah.
It's flawless. Like, it looks nice.
Yeah.
And I know that it's solid. So it just feels good to make something like that.
Yeah.
Least favorite thing is probably making bag straps.
Okay.
I make a lot of totes.
Yeah.
And it's not terrible, but just making bag straps I always kind of save for last. Like, I'll make a bunch of bags and then leave making straps to put on them till last because it just involves painting the edges, and I hand burnish them, and it just takes a long time, makes your hands hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get any hand cramps when you use your hand? Because I used to do some automotive stuff, and that's really tinkering, getting in there, and you get the end of the day, you're like, fuck, my hands hurt.
Leather is so tough on your hands.
Yeah.
And luckily I have real strong kind of tough hands. But if I were to make another product, it would be some kind of hand salve for hard workers.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future, but
well, hats off to you that you're doing that. I love that.
Thanks.
So tell us about your leather crafting process from start to finish on just one thing. I guess I guess we can do it with the OG, the collars.
Sure.
Even introduce to us the hide. What you're getting down with on the hide, your preferred one.
So for most things we use recycled leather from the meat industry. Mm-hmm. We kind of buy what we think is fair square foot wise. You buy leather by the square foot.
Okay.
So I like to keep
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. But for the collars, I buy English bridal leather.
Okay.
And it's a full grain leather.
Yeah. It's
the highest quality you can get. It's a 9-10 ounce leather, which is the same width. It's like a belt weight leather.
Okay.
But yeah. General neck sizes are around 16 inches if you ask for something different. But I cut the strips out. I burnish them by hand. I hand paint the sides of them. there's not a whole lot that goes into them besides just, making sure there's no nicks and cracks or bumps. And
How long does it take you to, I don't know, crank out five? If you got to order a 5 for a day, how long does that take?
5. I mean, I'd give myself 2 hours for 5.
Cool. Now, if you were to make 5 of them, would you make them all in the same, like,
yes,
do boom, boom, boom phase? All right, now you're getting this, you've all had this, and now just all in phases and as like almost a batch?
I'm definitely getting better at learning how to use my time wiser when I'm in the shop, and that definitely comes from having a toddler.
Yeah.
And, he's napping for 2 hours. I got 2 hours. What am I doing?
Yeah.
It's time to get to work. So, I used to like dick around in there, and piddle, but now it's like, okay, if I'm making 1 collar, I'm making 5 collars.
Yeah.
So if you're pulling a hide all the way out to cut it, you're gonna cut the full hide up.
Yeah.
Is what I do. So yeah, if I'm making 1, I make 5.
Yeah.
Or if I'm making bag straps, I make a bunch of bag straps,
gotcha.
more
So
than I have. That way I got extras. And,
Tremendous.
Yeah, batching it out.
Planning for the future there. That's excellent. All right, so let's check this one out. What do you like to work with most? The full grain? I think you may have said it. The full grain, the top grain, the split grain, the genuine, the bonded. What's going on there?
So full grain leather shows the imperfections. It shows range marks, and I like that. I think it's important to remember that this was a live, living thing, and that's a good way to honor the animal by recognizing and giving it more life and loving it and remembering it's an animal, gave its life. So I like that about it. But yeah, we use top grain leather too. We look for price. The price, it varies quite a bit. There's so many different ways to, dye leather or tan leather and all that too. So the price varies quite a bit.
Yeah. Tremendous. All right, this is the last one.
Sure.
On the goods. Is what's your favorite leather piece or garment or item that you have? Your prized possession in a leather piece, or your one that's like that's my favorite.
I know. I definitely know. It's a bullwhip that I have. It's this really beautiful bullwhip.
And the bullwhips have they're a lot more ends at the.
Yes.
It's not just one single one. It's multiple, right?
It takes skill to know how to make a bullwhip. Yeah. And I haven't made a bullwhip. I've made a solid bullwhip before, but not a braided bullwhip like the one I have. But it's just a fun thing to have around. Yeah.
That's
it's a fun
cool.
It's a fun thing to have around that I make sure it's oiled and I like to play with it every once in a while.
All right. Cool. Tremendous. What about like a garment item, like a piece for the what's it like? The outfit for the day or something like that.
I mean, like right now, I'm wearing I always wear.
Is that your little tie?
I wear a bandana around my neck, and so I do a little snap around my bandana tie. I just feel like that's a way of always. Yeah, I think it keeps it cowboy.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
Yeah, real simple.
But going back to the horse upbringing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think I like that. Do your family ever smoke cigarettes? Anybody smoke cigarettes? No.
Super anti-cigarette.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. The reason I bring it up is just Marlboro is just running through. But, I mean, when I collect Marlboro stuff.
Oh, cool. So, well, I do deal in vintage belt buckles too. So I go through a lot of the old Marlboro buckles.
Cool. Let me know whenever you come across those, because I have one. I have one that I purchased from you, which is the one that had like a sick ass like psychedelic Dodge van on it.
Yeah, I love van belt buckles. Yeah, those are always hard for me to not put in my own personal collection. I got a pretty dope collection of van belt buckles.
Yeah.
But
the Marlboro one I have is a brass and it's got a longhorn on it. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen that one before, but I got that one ironically from like some. What was it? Offer Up. It was still in package and still in case. It was like $10. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy. But awesome. So let's move on into the flexible section. Okay. So the yoga time.
All right.
How long have you been practicing yoga, and what started your interest in this the stretch in the yoga, the practice?
I have done yoga on and off for years, like catching a class here and there. But had never really I never went any deeper than that.
Yeah.
A yoga teacher training is something I always thought I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I got so much more out of this training than I ever would have imagined.
Yeah.
Yoga has a completely new meaning to me.
Cool.
You know,
That's good.
so far beyond a physical practice.
Yeah.
It's really just like learning to become an observer in your own life is really what yoga is all about.
Drawing back to the meditation focus.
Yeah.
Do you do that as well?
Yeah.
Cool.
Holding space for people.
Yeah.
And finding that like kindness is so important. I'd never put kindness so, you know, I've always been kind of rough and tough around the edges, but, you know, being okay with emotions and, just being more kind, especially to yourself, so you can be kinder to everybody else.
Definitely.
Is really what I've just pulled out of this.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So walk us through your personal yoga routine. What's going on with that? What you got there? How long does that take? And what are some of the poses you do?
Poses, okay.
Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, poses, asanas, same thing. So I've definitely been taught most recently, and I definitely feel like I'm a newbie in the yoga world, so I don't want to act like I'm any kind of an expert on it. I've been doing yoga for years, but I feel like after you go through a training, you're really at like the starting line. Then you realize you know nothing all of a sudden. There's so many things. I was told to teach what you're going through. You know, if you don't do headstands, don't teach headstands. If you don't do this, don't teach that. You know, you need to be teaching so it's authentic.
Yeah.
And that's definitely my goal when I do start teaching. I just want it to be an authentic thing that I'm offering people. So my personal practice is usually about 30 minutes.
Okay.
I usually start out with like a body scan. I'll go through from head to toe how I'm feeling, just a quick check-in.
Yeah.
You know, what's out of balance, what feels weird, you know. And then I do a little gentle movement, and this is the part where I'm being kind to myself instead of just like slamming into something like I used to do.
Yeah.
Punishing yourself for I haven't worked out in a week.
Yeah. So
go for it.
Do it
you know,
now. Make up for it.
That's what I used to do. Now I try to take that time to ease into things, to be kind.
Yeah, that's not a good look to do. Yeah, you haven't done this for 2 weeks, so you're gonna do all 2 weeks now, and then you'll be good tomorrow.
Yeah, and then I hit more like the warrior twos, the poses where you really have to.
Is that something? These things?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's where it involves a little more like of your muscles, like and. Those poses, the pose is not the purpose at all. The pose is there so you can observe the quality of your breath and you can observe the quality of your thoughts. So when you get the opportunity to observe where your brain's going when you're being challenged.
Yeah.
So just a little bit of challenge in there is good. A little bit of shaking, a little bit of being off balance. You should fall and laugh about it. Yeah. If you fall and get frustrated at yourself, then there you go. That's what you need to work on. Yeah. Some of this frustration you got,
Because I mean, sure, I don't want to say you fucked up, but like you
didn't fuck up. What you did is you did it right because you actually tried.
Yeah.
If you don't fall, then you didn't try hard enough. So your brain has to be able to accept those things. So it's kind of, I don't know. So I do that, and then I take it down a notch. I like a lot of side twists and stuff. I try to breathe into my side bodies a lot. I hold my breath a lot, I think.
Do you use the blocks at all? You down with that?
Yeah, I have a set of blocks. I should use them more.
Are those more beginner, the blocks?
No.
No? Okay.
Absolutely not.
All right. Because I remember I've done it before. I remember like in college, at the rec would always have yoga classes. I'm like, let's do it. It's free. I'm already paying for it.
Shoot,
just sign me up.
Yeah.
And they would have the blocks and stuff like that. So that's why I bring them up.
I definitely hope to, when I do start teaching, I want people to feel that, those tools are there to serve you how you feel today. Mm-hmm. You might be some kind of star athlete, but, today you might need to put your head on a block because you need to do what's serving you best in this moment. Yeah. So it's not for beginners at all.
Okay.
Blocks are there to support you, to help you. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. What about a mat? Oh, we were talking about the routine. Routine.
Yeah, sorry. I got sidetracked. Yeah, and then you know, I like some twists, some cool it downs, and then you end in what's called savasana or corpse pose.
Child? Is that child or no?
Savasana is actually on your back.
Oh, okay. Child's like this, right?
Child's pose.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Child's pose is definitely one of my favorite poses.
Yeah.
I like anything that stretches your lower back out, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, savasana is probably the most important pose in
It's the
yoga.
finisher, right?
It's the finisher.
Okay.
Yeah, it's where you soak up all the work that you did.
Yeah.
It's the meditation. It's the reward. You know, it's the dessert. So yeah.
What are your favorite poses?
I like child's pose a lot. The one always feels good.
Yeah, it's great.
I like anything that opens.
It's like a reset.
Yeah, reset. Pull. You know, it's humbling. It's grounding, which I like any poses that you're close to the ground. And then, yeah, I like bridge pose.
Okay. I don't think I know that one.
I like bridge pose.
Is
it's opening your hips up.
That's not. I think it's not downward dog. No?
Downward dog is kind of like the home pose for me. I feel like that's always kind of like where you can check in with how you are.
Oh, that's this one. Is bridge cat then?
There's a cat pose too. Yeah.
So what's bridge? I don't know bridge pose then.
Bridge, you're actually pushing your like hips up into the air. You're arching.
On your back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. All right.
But it's a very like heart opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very like releasing pose. It's a good one to do right towards the end of your practice.
I think I'm gonna start to like check it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
I haven't, like I mentioned a second ago, I did it in college and I really liked it. I got a couple of mats downstairs, but I don't. I do a stretch, but it's not yoga in like influenced or anything like that. They're just traditional, like just stretches for after the major walk and stuff like that. But it still kind of tries to pull influence from the whole centering of yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to get more into it.
You know, if you're connecting your mind to your body, then it's yoga.
Yeah.
You know, and it really is. It's for everybody.
Cool.
It's funny how it's become this, especially in the Western world. It's just so unapproachable, or it just seems like it's only for some people, or you know, you don't have to have a 6-pack in front of the Grand Tetons, like this beautiful, thing. It's yoga's just making a connection.
Yeah.
With yourself. You know?
I agree. Oh, what's up with the number 108? Does that mean anything to you?
So I mean, it's definitely a sacred number.
Okay. I stumbled upon it a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, it's in Hinduism, it's an important number on mala beads. It's how many times you'll recite a mantra.
Is that the number? So are those the like dark beads that you kind of like wrote?
Yeah, it helps with meditation, or if you have a mantra, you can run them through your fingers, so you're reciting the mantra that many times. The number 108 has a connection with, deep roots in Hinduism. It's over and over again, but it has something to do with the diameter of the sun and the Earth's distance from the sun.
Okay.
And then the moon and the Earth's distance from the moon. I could be saying that wrong.
It's all good.
But,
Nice.
Things like that have as much power as you believe to put into them. So,
but you're familiar. You have a familiarization with it.
Yeah, it's.
You've bumped across.
It's
this.
significant.
Okay, cool.
It's significant. Yeah.
Nice. Can you do the forearm balance pose? You do that?
I can do crow pose.
Okay.
That's my balance pose.
All right.
Past that, I'm still learning.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
Crow pose is my pose. It's my peak. It's my peak pose right now.
I'll have to check that one out. I don't know anything about that one. I don't know what that one looks like, but
it's a good little arm balance.
Cool. Do you know? Have you ever heard of DDP yoga?
I haven't. Okay. I was going to ask you.
Or what?
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Well, do you know who DDP is? Okay, so DDP, his name is Diamond Dallas Page. Shout out to all the wrestling freaks out there. Do you know Diamond Dallas Page?
Okay, I think I do know what you're talking about.
Okay, so he's been doing some yoga lately, but his is a little bit more like fast paced, and he's been having a lot of success with it. Working with the the past wrestlers that he, would work with, talking about like all these, they put their bodies on the line to do this stuff. While it is, it's still it's a form of entertainment and it's a form of athleticism.
Yeah.
But it's not. While it is a show, it is entertainment. They're still doing that.
Oh, yeah.
And he's been working with a lot of people in the past, just wrestling spectrum, be it the Goldbergs or the Undertakers or just people in there, and just really helping out their bodies and stuff like that.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, yoga has been so westernized. It's been exploited on so many levels. And I don't mean that in like a totally negative way, but there's so many kinds of yoga now.
The goats and the sweat and the heat and stuff like that.
And I mean, to each their own. If you like it, do it. If it makes you feel good, do it.
Yeah.
But I do think there is some importance in knowing why yoga is here, like having a little bit of the taste of the history of yoga and like, where it came from. And also like, I don't know, you just need to make sure that you're doing something that serves your body.
Yeah.
There's so many of these practices that, you get ads on Facebook or in your email and it's like, sign up for power yoga, we're going to bust your ass, this, blah, blah. And you're like, that's not what yoga is. Don't call it yoga.
Yeah.
I think it's cultural appropriation at that point, don't put a pair of Buddha pants on and, punch a punching bag type of thing. I don't know. I mean, and maybe I'm being too opinionated about that because I do believe you should find what serves you.
Definitely.
And punching a punching bag would probably serve me well too. I'd probably like to do that. But I do think there's a certain amount of respect that needs to go into the history of yoga.
I definitely
and
agree.
The mindful side of yoga.
Yeah.
That is what yoga is. Everything else is an exercise class.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. That's what you just stated, the difference, the mindfulness in it. Whereas when you're doing the exercise, it's just, let's do this. Is there mindfulness in exercise? Most definitely, but
sure.
I think there's a whole lot more in the yoga spectrum.
And I mean, I love those kind of classes too. I mean, I'm not, I've done the hot yoga and the Bikram and all that. And I really do. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe I just kind of have a newfound respect for making sure that when I step on my mat, it's like it's a sacred place for me, type of thing.
Have you started to incorporate your son at all in these practices? Is he doing anything? What's up with that?
Well, I keep a yoga mat in his room. He's mastered his downward facing dog.
Cool.
He can do a warrior 2.
Okay.
And he can barely speak, but he can say namaste. I try to give him the prayer hands and namaste.
Yeah.
And he'll repeat it back to me.
Excellent.
So it makes me happy.
Because your instruction is paying. It's a payoff.
Yeah.
I love that.
And certainly, like, just the idea of being more mindful is going to be such a great tool as a parent, too.
Because you're the overall, like, observation for him, you and your husband, so what is it, a set lead by example? I don't know about that, but you're just showing.
He's a total copycat.
Yeah,
He's a
definitely.
little baby copycat. He does,
complete blank canvas to take almost like silly putty, where you could put it on the comic and peel it off. And,
Definitely. Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about there, Freaks and Geeks. If you don't know, check it out. I definitely dated myself right there.
I know what you're talking about.
But hopefully the Freaks and Geeks know. But I would definitely agree. He's an open book to pull in. But that's cool that he's got those poses and got the mat and got the opportunity that you're providing him the opportunity to do that.
I want him to do whatever he wants to do as long as he's kind about it.
Tremendous.
So
That's
if
good.
I can lead by example in that way, that I think I'd call myself successful if he turns out to be a kind person.
Yeah. I think that's a big hope, that's just be kind to what's been kind to him, and even be kind to what hasn't been kind to him as well, being centered and being, I don't know, not holding the grudge and not wishing, what is our guy Michael Imperioli said, not don't wish on that to others just because you don't want to maybe maybe you have been wronged, but there's not the need to
learn
wish
to
that.
let that shit go.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
I agree. All right, so we've discussed this whole 200-hour certification.
Yeah.
What's the process on that? How was that for you?
So I got certified through Practice Yoga Austin, which I think is the best yoga studio in Austin, just because they're a donation-based studio. Their teachers are just they're quality. They're real people. They live it and they hold space. You can talk to them after a class. They're real people. They want to talk to you and they live it, and they care about the mind-body connection. All of them. I would send anybody in there and just be confident that they were going to come out feeling better. But the 200-hour, we started it out. It was a 6-month program. We thought we'd be meeting in person. This was when COVID all started. It was definitely a silver lining for COVID for me. I signed up because I was like, shoot, I'm going to be locked up at home. Might as well start,
Yeah. I think a lot of people took that. I was like, we gotta do something. We're not stopping.
Pat on the back to anybody who decides to do something instead.
The podcast is a baby of a child of
is it really?
Of COVID. Yeah,
cool.
Most definitely.
That's so awesome. It's like learn a language, read a book, do something different, plan a trip, do something.
I agree.
So that was kind of a silver lining for me. I'm like, I'm signing up. I've always wanted to do it. There's no better time than now. I have a kid. I was dealing with being frustrated, not being able to manage my time very well. And I was like, I know yoga has some answers in there. So I signed up.
Yeah.
The program ended up being completely over Zoom.
Okay.
So at first everybody was a little like, I don't know if this is going to be a good thing, blah, blah, blah. It ended up being such a powerful, awesome experience. And I mean, 26 of us were in this class, and none of us had regrets about like the Zoom part of it by the end of it, because I think it's honestly because of such high quality teachers.
That's good.
We went through the history of yoga. We went through, how to teach, trauma informed yoga. We talked about the language of yoga, which is why I'm reading, nonviolent communication. It's, how powerful each word is, and just learning that like you can offer an experience to people, and then they have to choose to walk through the door if they want to have the experience, but giving people a high quality, safe experience where they can,
That's a huge key.
Yeah.
That's not, that's almost as important as the focus is what you're studying.
Yeah.
The practice
it
itself.
doesn't need to be complicated. It really just needs to be simple so that it's approachable for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Let's see. Let's talk about these chakras. So, is there more than 7? Or is there a whole lot?
There's a whole lot.
A boatload?
There's a boatload.
So the ones that I spoke of, are those just the basics?
So I think the 7 chakras are the ones that are just like, they're the ones that run up your spinal column. And I think...
So is there chakras in the hands?
There's chakras in the hands.
Okay.
They're actually called nadis,
okay,
which are like channels throughout your entire body that like govern all different kinds of energy that are flowing in you. There's even chakras that like are like right outside of your body, supposedly.
Okay.
And there's something about the sacred number 108 too with the chakras. I'm not an expert,
no, it's all good.
I'm not going to claim to know everything about them, but I definitely feel like since I've paid more attention to my chakra system, that...
How do you pay attention to it? How do you do that?
So the first way I was introduced to the chakras in this 200-hour training was we did a guided meditation, and it was us sitting and thinking about these wheels turning, and you were focusing on... like the inside of your body, like at the root of your spine. Okay. And you were imagining this pinwheel spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. And then you'd move up to your solar plexus and spinning and spinning and spinning, and your heart chakra and spinning and spinning. And then afterwards we talked about it, and people were like, yeah, my root chakra was like spinning like crazy, like a million miles an hour. And other people are like, mine was just like, barely cranking. And we just found it interesting how your own mind had this like idea of how things were spinning in there. But I don't know. I think it's a good way to check in with yourself.
Definitely.
And find a little balance. I mean, I would recommend the book, The Wheels of Life, and I've just been diving into it, and it is like the dictionary on chakras and all. But things, I think emotions, or stress or anxiety, things like that you hold inside of your body, if you hold them in there too long, they manifest themselves into something physical. Yeah. And so I think that's what the chakras are trying to tell us. Like, if you're holding on to, if your heart is clenched, and I'm saying like your heart, meaning like, if you're holding on to like physical things and money and power and things like this, your heart is never going to unclench if you're holding on to these things. But, if you balance that chakra, if you clear that chakra, you're going to feel better. You're going to have less stress. Your shoulders are going to be more relaxed. Yeah. You might have less indigestion.
I need to start focusing on, I think I need to start focusing on them. I'd definitely like to. I think that'd be good.
I'm interested, and I'm definitely throwing myself into an experiment too. I've had some digestive issues, and maybe it's after having a kid or whatever, but I won't go that far. But I'm kind of experimenting with working with my root chakra to see if I can heal myself somewhat through.
In the roots in the feet? Is the root the feet?
So the root of the chakra, the 7 chakra system, is at the base of the spine. Okay. And so there's the idea is that there's a snake coiled 3 times around the base of your spine, named Kundalini. Okay. And you want to awaken her so she can travel up through your 7 chakras. Whoa, okay. And so she'll get stuck at some if they're out of balance or they're out of whack. So,
that's great. No, we didn't know that.
Once you hit, that, your third eye chakra, you're going to have all these, amazing realizations and all because your chakra system's flowing. You're open. I love that. All the wheels are spinning.
Excellent. No,
I wish I could say it better.
Well, no, I think you said it tremendously because you brought out. We didn't know about this snake that you just spoke of. That's tremendous. I love that. So let's talk about. Okay. So, have you started teaching your family members aside from like your son? What about your husband or your mom or anything else like that? Sister, anything like that?
Yeah. So
trading yoga for hot sauces or something like
right.
that.
Yeah, we've done that. I just finished this 200-hour training. I'm super excited about it, but I definitely felt a little bit of like, oh my gosh, okay, got to start teaching. Yeah. You got to start practicing or you're going to lose it, And it's really just about like the language, like getting the rocks out of your mouth, practicing. So I've definitely been working on my husband. I've been getting him on the mat, and my aunts like over Zoom. I really do hope soon to start maybe making video recordings. I think Zoom is like there's a whole new world in yoga with Zoom. It's now that it's here, it's not going away. Yeah. So it's kind of cool to have started using Zoom because from here on out, it's going to be like the norm. So, I need to start cutting my teeth with some classes. Actually, just have the nerve to do it.
There's a guy that I know of. He's a comedian. His name's Ari Shafir. Do you follow comedy at all? No. His name's Ari Shafir. He's a tremendous comic. He's definitely a bit edgy, but he does these like comedy yoga practicings. He tries to make them funny and stuff, but I think he's trying to take them seriously. This is his second round of like doing it. Cool. It was the start of the whole pandemic thing, and he's been going. I think he did a 30-day yoga thing, but he tries to make it funny. He tries to make it humorous and stuff like that. So, there's a whole world out there. We spoke about the DDPs. Shout out to Ari Shafir and his whole yoga venture and stuff like that, and your yoga venture as well. Do you have a name for it? What are you thinking on the name on that?
Yeah. So I like the idea. I've started the email and the Instagram, of course. I'm calling it More Love, Less Junk.
Okay.
And I'm hoping to offer community classes in Lockhart. I'd like to do gentle movement with guided meditation, and then leave space at the end of class for people to connect and talk about things and real talk yoga. We're real people, like let's talk about how you actually feel, And I have this idea. I don't know if it's silly or not, but
probably is. But some of the best ones are.
It's a little silly, but more love, less junk. I like the idea of being able to get a free class if you pick up trash and you take a picture of that bag of trash.
I think that's beautiful.
A certain amount of trash. I don't know, a bag of trash, you get a free yoga class. So that way it's like, that's, picking up trash, more love, less junk. Yeah. Like you got to care. Like it's about caring. So like caring for the community.
Money's not the thing. Go out there and like make a change, and then we can.
Give it away.
Yeah.
Like so. I like the idea of maybe letting people pay for yoga classes with bags of trash.
Yeah. No, it's a good concept.
And I mean,
yeah.
The honor system. Take a picture, not the bag of trash from your kitchen. I mean, like picking it up from the park or something. But
go out and do something.
I think that might be a cool idea to incorporate somewhere down the line.
I think no, I definitely agree, and I think it can encourage others or influence others to say, let's, because that's a pure request, I guess. It's like, dude, what the fuck is this piece of cotton that has a 1 or a 5 or a 50 on it? Like. Like, look at all this shit that's just being thrown out, this, that, and the third. Like, let's clean up. And then,
And of course, I mean, donation-based. I want it to be accessible to everybody. I want it to be for everybody, too. Like, I don't want people to feel like they can't come because I can't reach my toes. It's like, well, guess what? Then you missed out on what yoga is actually about. Let me tell you what it's really about. It's about the connection, not the pose you're in.
Yeah. You might not be able to reach the toes today. Come on back and get let's see if we can do it.
That's right.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for talking with me about the yoga stance. I really love that. Before we get into our next little segment, the closer, I want to share with you this book.
Okay.
This book I've had for a little bit. I think I got it last September. I'm not done with it. I'm on like the 3rd chapter, but it's called Be Water, My Friends, and I've spoke about it a lot on this podcast. It's by Shannon Lee, and it's by that's Bruce Lee's daughter. Cool. There's a picture of him right behind you. He's definitely someone that I definitely, not necessarily idolize. I don't think it's good to idolize, but look up to.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
So it's a tremendous book, and thank you for sharing your books and your what you've been reading and just how they've impacted you. So I just wanted to throw this one back at you and share it with you. It's a tremendous text. It's based off Shannon Lee, his daughter, her viewings and just growing up with him. And it's a very philosophical text, but taught and spoken about through the eyes of the child of the philosopher. You know what I mean? And I never thought of Bruce as a philosopher not until like last year. He was always just not necessarily a movie badass, but he was just a centered, person with drive, an immigrant with drive, just an underdog. I mean, he wasn't the biggest, but the fact that
packed with power,
and packed with an open mind as well, so.
Awesome.
I don't know if you're ever interested in this. Take a look at it. It's a beautiful text.
Be water, my friend.
It's tremendous. Do you have any
Shannon Lee
background with Bruce Lee or any?
No,
opinion?
I mean I'm a huge fan. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you think of him as a philosopher?
Definitely.
Yeah. See, I didn't. I don't know what I thought of him as, but because he never like kind of preached it. Kind of like did. Well, no, I take that back. He didn't preach it, but it just showed through the person.
And that is a true master. you don't have to talk about it if you just live in it.
If you're just it, yeah. But it's a lovely text. I mean, just talking about not necessarily the power of water, but it is talking about the power of water and how water just adapts to everything. It's always there.
Check it out.
It's probably going to engulf the world at some point in time and just be water.
Well, we are water, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, then it's already engulfed the world.
Yeah.
'Cause, we are water. Tremendous. Let's go on to the last one. This one's 2021 plan and conclusion. We got to get you out of here. Thank you so much for being here. So what are your plans and approaches for this year? It's a new year. It's a more open year. What you got?
Of course, to always try to put some vacations spaced out throughout the year. You got to always have something to look forward to. Yeah. That's why we work. Yeah. So we can party. We can go vacation together. Yeah. And
has your son been on one with y'all yet?
My son has been to Belize with us. Okay. He's been to like 7 beaches already. Cool. He's been to last weekend we actually just got back from Matagorda, which is where my grandmother grew up. But that's like our secret little getaway. It's only 2.5 hours away. The beach is always beautiful. Yeah. But he's done the Galveston, Port Aransas, and South Padre already. Yeah. We like to hit the beaches up, obviously, but. Yeah, he did Belize when he was 5 months old. Whoa. And was just the perfect little dude. Put him on my back and took him around. He was wonderful.
That's out of sight right there.
But yeah, I want him to have the travel bug. Good. That's the best way to get to know yourself and
Did you follow Anthony Bourdain at all?
Yeah, I love Anthony Bourdain.
Cool. I met him once.
Really?
I met him at a book signing. And I just bring that up because that's a traveler right there.
Oh, yeah.
Love him, love it too, love him too. And he had philosophies as well, Okay, so keep going.
Yeah, plans besides booking some spots to travel to. As far as the business goes, I really would like to buy like a small like travel rig, some kind of little travel trailer, so we can all ride together to further shows, and eventually go hit up like Sturgis and Daytona Bike Week and stuff would just be fun,
Oh yeah, because you said you got the Class M license, right?
We do.
Are you what's your preferred brand? Are you a Harley guy?
Harley, yeah. Cool. My dad was a Harley dude, so
I love those fat boys.
Yeah,
those are tremendous. Fat boys. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, that's the goal is like eventually to being able to work and travel and combine those two things, I think sounds pretty awesome. So
and I think you got a good realm on it, working and just pushing the leathers, pushing the yoga instruction, and I like that. Just being would it be a nomad? I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah. Just a free spirit. That's cool. That's cool.
Got to say yes. Yeah. And just go before you know.
Yeah. What do you hope to achieve this year with Good Omen Goods and yoga instruction?
Ideally, I would love for my husband to be able to quit his job eventually. I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but in the somewhat short term, just to be sustainable, make our own money ourselves would be pretty cool feeling, I think.
Cool. Does he dabble into any brewmaster stuff?
He actually
homebrews or anything?
He homebrews a little bit. He homebrews a little bit. As much time as we have, kid and stuff at home.
I've tried it. I when I say I tried it, I like assembled the list of stuff, and then I was like, "You're gonna need $400 more, $600 more to do it." And I'm like, "I'm already 5-6 in." I was like,
"It's definitely in his like wheelhouse." Yeah. He's a good cook and a good like baker. Cool. Yeah. He makes So he's good at like. Being precise. Yeah.
It's a very precise thing.
He's got good taste and all that.
Times and measurements and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of the type of like, I'll drink a beer and be like, it's good.
Yeah.
Next beer, okay, it's good. Yeah, the next one's good too.
They're all good. They're all good. What do you want me to tell you?
He's got a more refined palate than myself.
So you want me to tell your beer is shitty? Okay, yeah. We'll bring the same good. One, and this one's shitty.
Like, are you chewing gum?
It's the same beer you had. Oh man, excellent. Do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Ooh, gosh. My sister's hot sauce company, Witch Mountain, she's been working hard at it, and they really are fucking good.
You'll have to check it out.
Yeah, they're hot too.
Freaks and Geeks follow Witch Mountain.
She's been getting into she was never into like camping and stuff, but she's got this boyfriend that he's like a total like ranger, and they go like way out camping for days and stuff. And so she got inspired to do this hot sauce because she's interested in like all these like pioneer mountain women now, like, you know, their history, she's interested in putting a podcast together about these women, you know, like all the wives of the, you know, the trackers and stuff.
Do it.
Which I hope she does. But, she started making these hot sauces, and they're in these pretty small bottles, but they're super concentrated. So you can put them on like beans and stuff while you're out in the woods.
Okay.
And they're in these like child-proof bottles too. Yeah. They're kind of hard to open, so like kids can't get into them because they're so hot. Yeah. Like a couple dabs will do you.
Couple dabs.
But
it.
Witch Mountain, pretty cool.
Excellent. We got to follow that. Excellent. All right. So, tell the people where they can find you in all those little plug the social media outlets and plug whatever you got, because we're almost done here. You did a tremendous job.
Man, I was nervous. I've never done this before.
Yeah,
I've listened to like one podcast before, but now I think I might be hooked.
Well, now you're you got it under the belt, you know.
Yeah.
That's it.
So the first show that we have booked so far is at a good friend of mine's coffee shop in Taylor.
Okay.
I call it the Home Slice Connection. I worked at Home Slice Pizza when it first opened like 15 years ago. Jeez. Her and I worked together when it first opened.
Was it 2 buildings or was it just the one?
It was just the one building.
Okay.
Her name's Sarah Fisher, but she is an amazing entrepreneurial woman. I mean, hilarious and smart, and can put a business together in a snap. She's good.
Is it SARA or with the H?
SARAH.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Oh, I could be wrong.
You can't trust those SARAs though.
But I call it the Home Slice Connection because it's crazy how like even El Dorado, the fellow that's the GM at El Dorado, his name's Gabe, and him and I worked together at Home Slice 13 years ago. And I went in for an interview, and I walked in, I was like, what's up, dude? Yeah. Like, it's that Home Slice connection, you know, the Austin connection. Yeah. But anyways, she has a coffee shop called Good Strangers in Taylor. Okay. And they do every second Saturday, they have a band play, a honky-tonk band play in the back of a truck, and have a vendor sitting out there. So she asked if I'd come do it. It's February 13th.
Go out there.
From 10 to 4.
Taylor Freaks and Geeks, listen up.
Taylor Good Strangers, February 13th, 10 to 4. After that, we're going on a little road trip to New Orleans, so we're taking a little time off. Yeah. My husband's turning 35, so we're going to go party in New Orleans with the baby for a little bit. Yeah.
Down with the spirits?
Yeah.
Man, I love that place. I've only been there once. I love
it's gonna be
that
It's not going to be such a party this time. We're going to like, you know, walk around, you know.
How many times have you been there?
I've been there maybe 6 or 7 times.
I love it. Those hand grenades are hefty.
We go down there for the Boogaloo Fest.
Okay, what is that?
It's like Boogaloo it's Fest. Not as big as like Jazz Fest, all that, but it's like
that's cool.
It's party time. It's when we get to hang out with my aunt and uncle.
It's a beautiful city.
It's such a beautiful city.
It's tremendous.
And we're graveyard walkers too. We love to go see all the cemeteries and stuff. So especially with a kid now, we're gonna, you know. We're staying beneath a really pretty like yoga studios because I want to take her classes and you know, we're gonna hot tub and you know walk around and eat good food and just hang out. Family time.
I'm a freak for abandoned structures, and they got a lot of them. Be it the charity hospitals or the Six Flags New Orleans out there.
Oh yeah, my husband's a photographer and that's his thing too. He loves to just. It's his favorite thing in the world to do is just walk around with his camera. He develops his own film.
Has he got a darkroom?
No, but he deserves one. He deserves one at the house.
Does he have to go? He has to go somewhere to a darkroom.
He's developed it at home. He's gotten this like bag system. Where,
I got you.
You know, you like put your hands in this dark bag and you have to like fumble around in it and develop it that way. Yeah, he's done that, but that's in the plans for. We bought our house maybe 6 or 7 months ago in Lockhart. So we have so many plans for our house. It's, you know.
Well, at least you got someone that can take photos of the leather goods, you know.
Yeah, he's good at that. Photos. He's good at that. I need him for that, for sure. So after Good Strangers in March 7th, we're going to be at Nomadic Beer Works.
Tremendous.
March 7th. And that is with Austin Flea.
Okay.
After that, we're going to be at Quackenbush bakery, if I'm saying that correctly. The Quackenbush.
Does it have does it have a duck on it?
It has got a duck on it.
It's an old Austin spot, right?
Thing.
I think, yeah.
It's really good. They have gigantic croissants. That's right. I did one show there.
Is that the one with the fork? Is that the one with the fork?
Maybe.
I know. That's all like Hyde Park
Their
area,
pastries
right?
are amazing.
Okay.
It's South Austin, South Manchac.
Okay. Well, no, then I'm not thinking. I knew.
It's all Austin Flea. If you go to austinflea.com, it has all the shows listed. But we're doing Pneumatic Beer Works, Quackenbushes, and then we're going to be at ABGB, the Austin Beer Garden, March 14th.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'll have to put you in line with a lady I know. Shout out to Tabby Rodriguez. She was a guest. Man, I forget. Maybe episode 17. But she does a pop-up market too. And then I'll definitely let you know about that. All right. So can you do me this, just this last favor for everybody? Last little thing. Can you tell us where we can find you on the net as far as the social media outlets and what we can look up, what the Freaks and Geeks can look up and where? Is it more than just Instagram? Is there a Facebook, any Twitters or anything like that? Go for it. The social media outlets.
You can find us on Instagram at Good Omen Goods.
Tremendous.
You can also find us at goodomengoods.com, and it'll take you just straight to our Etsy store.
Etsy, yeah.
Pretty simple right now.
Yeah. Some good stuff on there. You do guitar straps too.
We make guitar straps.
I've seen that one. That one's cool.
Yeah, and we're branching out now to doing more merchandise for bars, small business. We love working with other small business.
Right.
If you want us to make key fobs for you or leather patches, you can send us your logo. We can send you a couple examples, see if you're into it.
You ever thought of the coasters?
Yeah, we make coasters. Okay. We make koozies.
Yeah.
We can do patches you can put on hats, things like that. That's kind of where we're hoping to go with all this.
Excellent.
We just finished working with Mill Scale, which is a crazy awesome company.
Is that in Lockhart?
It is in Lockhart. They hand make these badass barbecue machines.
Okay.
Yeah. They're looking for a space there. But they're a super cool company.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we just got done working with them. But yeah, if you have any ideas, you can shoot them our way. We're super casual. Our telephone is on the website, and you can always give us a call.
Do y'all take the not consignment, but requests to you I need this, that, and the third made? Can you do it?
Absolutely, cool. Yeah. If you have any custom ideas, if you want to fit a holster over a gun you have or a knife or something, or
that's great.
We're casual. Give us a call. We can tell you what we can do.
Love it. Yeah. Alrighty, well, that was it right there. Do you have any questions for me or anything like that?
Well, I guess I could ask you, with Elon Musk, all the stuff going on, if everybody's talking about moving to Mars, if you had the opportunity, would you send your body to Mars?
And I'm not coming back, right? I don't think so.
You're probably not coming back. My husband is 100%, I'm going. And I'm like, hell no, I'm staying here. But we're always kind of laughing about that. And he's like, if you got a question for the doc, ask him if he wants to go to Mars.
Question. Well,
I mean,
it's red. It's really red. It's really dusty.
It's dusty and red.
Yeah.
It's so far.
Not a lot of water there. Maybe a little bit.
I like Earth.
Yeah, I do like Earth. Yeah. They say there's people up there or creatures.
There's probably bubbles with shopping malls in them by now. We don't even know it. They're just getting us ready.
If Tony Hinchcliffe went to Mars and did a Kill Tony podcast and was now streaming from Mars, I'd probably go. But I'd take a postcard.
Yeah,
yeah, I'll take a postcard. No, I don't think I'd go. I'd probably go. I don't know.
It's a tough one.
No, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go to Mars.
The chance of a lifetime, the adventure of a lifetime. Yeah. Would you go? I'm like, no. I mean, anything else?
I'd try to make a different adventure, But that's a great question. That's a beautiful question. No, it's a tremendous question because, it's Mars. It's a very curious Is it the alien planet? Who knows? It's been part of the what is it? Curiosity of the human race for space, the space race and stuff like that. It's always been associated with the little green guys. Not, I mean, I think that's
It won't be long.
yeah, no. There'll be condos and stuff out there, but nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I might send a rover up there or something.
Yeah.
But beautiful questions. I love that question. We've never had anything like that on the podcast. We've never fucking had a product here on the podcast. So, man, if I was a shark, I would definitely you would have had it. You would have had it for me. So, Leah, thank you so much. Freaks and Geeks, go check her out on all the platforms. I am going to plug them in the description, so you'll get a little taste of that. And if you ever want to come back and do this again, you're more than welcome. You got the invitation to come
thank you.
into the thank you to come into the studio Life or Death.
I was worried I wouldn't have anything to say or
You had
be
a lot.
super boring for you.
No.
But I'm glad you had me here. It's nice to talk things out.
I love it. Thank you so much. And I mean, the fact that you're an Austinite too. My wife's an Austinite, so like there's already a connection right there. So
yeah,
I'm glad. Again, thank you for coming in. I loved it. It clicked so well. You knocked your first podcast out.
Right.
You know? So
Woohoo.
go and do more. You already got some experience with it. Do you think there's a question? Is there a question that I did not ask that I should have asked?
No, I think you covered me well.
Cool.
Yeah,
Good,
I think you covered me well.
Good. I tried my hardest. I've gone through some funks in the past. This is, like I said, number 22, and just trying to make something better for the next one. That's always the trick. That's always the most difficult thing.
You ask good questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like coming in, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I do want to say this if
What's up?
I have an opportunity to.
Yeah, go for it. You got it.
Just because I know a lot of people are sitting at home, and this is what kind of rang true for me because of quarantine and everything. If you have something on the back burner, if you have, you wanted to play the harmonica, or you were interested in a yoga certification like I was, or if you have a business idea that you think is quirky, right now is the best time to try it. It's the best time to, there's no better time than the now.
Yeah.
You got to say yes before you even know what the end outcome is.
Yeah.
Everybody has different versions of what like success is, but you got to do those things.
Yeah, I agree. You never know what you could have done unless you did it.
Yeah, if you're waiting for some kind of sign, let this be the sign. Do it,
I love it.
Tremendous.
Well, Leah, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Freaks and Geeks, stick around for just a second. I'm going to close it out for the Freaks and Geeks, and then we'll send you on home. Well, Freaks and Geeks, that's all she wrote. Once again, I want to thank my guest, Leah Rose from Good Omen Goods, the leather brand out of Lockhart, Texas, for coming in live into the studio of Life or Death and having a good just sit-down conversation and just share some insights, some life insights with me here. It was an honor, and I really appreciated it. We had another lady guest, another tremendous female figure, stepped into the studio and took the cans on, stepped up to the mic, and just shared her insights. Freaks and Geeks, go support her on Instagram at Good Omen Goods. Also, make sure you go and check out her Etsy. She has all of her products there. And if you can hit her up at a pop-up. Make sure you see her at one of these pop-ups and tell her that you heard her on the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. Go support Leah Rose. We really appreciate it. So next week we're going to chat. We're going to sit down with a rapper out of San Antonio, Texas. Now I picked this guy because he really released some how should I say this? All of the releases that he puts out, all the tracks he puts out, all these little EPs and even albums he puts out, he really puts thought into the design of them. They're tremendous. Whether it's a record, whether it's a CD, whether it's a disc, all of his packages, all of anything that he puts out and produces has just a tremendous layout and really a tight-knit package, and it's a lot of detail, fine detail in the text, in the format, even in the color of say the record or even the cassette itself. So we're gonna talk to this guy. I'm not gonna tell you the name, all right? But it's episode number 23 coming next week. Yeah, fuck it, I'll tell you the name. Baby Astro. All right, check him out on YouTube. That's who's coming in next week for episode number 23 of the Doctor's Orders podcast. Now we got the closing credits. Here we go. Freaks and Geeks, thank you very much for listening. And remember, new episodes are released every Wednesday at 6 a.m. Check it out. Do me a favor and go subscribe to the Doctor's Orders podcast on whichever podcast platform that you prefer. And while you're there, make sure that you leave a comment and drop us a rate as well. Also, be sure to go follow me on Instagram at the 512 Foot Doctor, THA 512 FOOTDR, and follow the podcast Instagram as well, the Doctor's Orders Podcast, THADRSORDERSPODCAST. And please continue to tell people about the podcast. Whoa, not people. I want you to tell the freaks and geeks, any freaks and geeks that you know out there, any freaks and geeks that you come into contact and you have an affiliation, an established relationship with. Hit them up, let them know. Hey, yo, go check out this podcast, the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. You're gonna love it. Tell the freaks and geeks about the podcast. We're doing bigger and better things each and every episode. Remember, the Doctor's Orders podcast is a Life or Death Studios production. Freaks and Geeks, until next time, we'll see you on the next one. Don't be late.